Chapter 535. Ling Yu. I have been cultivating in the mysterious underworld cave recently. Sorry for being late. After using the mysterious underworld extreme Dao to kill Mo Longyuan, Yi Chenfeng immediately came to the side of the severely injured Ling Yu. He took out 2 heaven-class soul pellets and fed them to her as he apologized. Big brother Chenfeng, you don't have to blame yourself. I don't blame you. Blame those people for being too hateful. The Ling Yu shook her head and angrily glared at Mo Longyuan's corpse that tried to steal her primordial yin and suck her blood dry. Ling Yu, don't worry. I will not let those people who tried to harm you go. Go to my universe, realm, to heal your injuries. Yi Chenfeng softly promised. After speaking, he gave all the 1,000-year-old spiritual herbs to the Ling Yu and summoned his universe realm. He put her inside to heal her injuries. Western Devil Sect, you can go now. Yi Chenfeng put on the silver mask and controlled the illusion Dao pattern to change his appearance. He summoned the golden rock wings and accelerated out of the valley that was covered by the sea of clouds, arriving at the mystic underworld mountain range. Strange. Where did the great protector go? The 4 Western Devil Sect experts suddenly lost track of Mo Longyuan. They immediately took out their communication beads to contact him, but they were unable to reach him. Perhaps the great protector has already caught that little girl and is enjoying her in the forest, absorbing her primordial yin and blood. A thin Western Devil Sect expert with a centipede scar at the corner of his eye and a cold aura exuding from his body, revealed a thought-provoking smile. He wasn't worried about Mo Longyuan's safety. Haha, that is very possible. The other 3 Western Devil Sect experts laughed and said enviously, "Murderous aura." Just as the 4 of them were passing through the mysterious underworld mountain range, a terrifying murderous aura locked onto them. It made their hearts tremble and their hairs stand up. In the next moment, their vision blurred and a blurry figure appeared in front of them. "Who are you?" Seeing Yi Chenfeng, who was wearing a black robe and a silver mask and emitting a sharp killing intent, the 4 Western Demon Sect experts sensed a deep sense of danger and asked cautiously, "The person who will kill you?" Yi Chenfeng said without the slightest trace of emotion. Carrying a monstrous killing intent, he attacked the 4 Western Devil Sect experts. Illusory Dao insight bewitchment. After comprehending the mystic underworld extreme Dao, Yi Chenfeng grasped some techniques to control the illusory Dao pattern attacks. When he approached the 4 Western Devil Sect experts, 40 illusory Dao patterns gushed out from his body and confused their consciousness, causing a slight delay in their reaction. Extreme ancient heavenly lightning, destroy. In the next moment, the ancient extreme heavenly lightning bolts shot out from Yi Chenfeng's body, turning into 4 extreme heavenly lightning needles. They broke through the 4's defenses and pierced through their heads, killing them on the spot. After killing the 4 people, Yi Chenfeng collected their belongings. He released the black flame heavenly fire and burned the 4 corpses into ashes. His body flashed and disappeared. Because the mystic underworld sect was related to whether he could successfully participate in the upcoming Dragon Abyss Sacred City martial meet, Yi Chenfeng didn't go on a killing spree. He quietly went to the mystic underworld cave, and with the help of the Space Devourer, he broke the restriction at the entrance of the mystic underworld cave and entered. Mystic underworld sect. I originally didn't want to deal with you, but it is a pity that you actually colluded with the Western Devil Sect to harm the spirit fish. Since that is the case, don't blame me for being impolite. Yi Chenfeng's eyes flashed with ferocious light as he muttered in his heart. Bang! The restriction on Mo Longyuan's universe ring was broken, and Yi Chenfeng's soul spirit seeped into search for the treasures he left behind. 98 peak-grade soul crystals, over 13,000 high-grade soul crystals, and over 20 million mid-grade soul crystals. Jade Scroll? I wonder what is recorded in this Jade Scroll. Yi Chenfeng searched through Mo Longyuan's belongings and found a large number of soul crystals, soul elixirs, thousand-year-old spiritual items, and heaven artifacts. Finally, he found a white jade porcelain box with a dark green jade scroll sealed in it. This is the topographic map of the Western continent. Yi Chen Feng unsealed the jade box and released his soul spirit to seep into the jade scroll. He found that the jade scroll actually recorded a complete topographic map of the Western continent and revealed a puzzled expression. But when he quickly browsed through the topographic map of the Western continent, he found something suspicious. In the corner of the map, there was a detailed map of a place called Vast Heaven Domain. Vast Heaven Domain. Vast Heaven Domain seems to be the #1 dangerous place in the Western continent. When Yi Chen Feng was searching for Su Mingwei's soul spirit, he had obtained information about Vast Heaven Domain. He knew that it was known as the #1 dangerous place in the Western continent. Even combat beast emperors would find it hard to leave alive after entering. Interesting. I didn't expect the Western continent to have such a dangerous place like the Death Region. But why would this Mo Longyuan have a map of Vast Heaven Domain's periphery? Could it be that the ambitious Mo Fengyan set his sights on Vast Heaven Domain, and there was a great opportunity there that attracted him? Thinking of this possibility, Yi Chen Feng also became a little interested in Vast Heaven Domain. When Yi Chen Feng secretly entered the mysterious underworld cave, the entire mysterious underworld sect was in an uproar. Almost all of the mysterious underworld sect's disciples were mobilized and entered the mysterious underworld mountain range to search for the whereabouts of Mo Longyuan and the others. Master, do you think something happened to Mo Longyuan and the others? Shui Yurua noticed that Mo Longyuan and the others, who were chasing after the spiritual fish, seemed to have evaporated into thin air and disappeared from the mysterious underworld mountain range. She fell into a state of panic and immediately found Shui Honghen to tell her what happened and discuss countermeasures. You said that the spiritual fish suddenly had the strength to fight against a half-step emperor expert. After listening to Shui Yurua's explanation, Shui Honghen tightly frowned. She also felt the seriousness of the situation and paced back and forth in the cave. If there is no news of Mo Longyuan and the others by tomorrow, it means that something happened to them and they died in the mysterious underworld mountain range. Shui Honghen said in a low voice, Master, if something really happened to Mo Longyuan and the others, who do you think did it? Shui Yurua asked in a fluster. Once the Western Devil sect knew about this, the mysterious underworld sect would most likely suffer from the Western Devil sect's revenge. This was something that they could not afford. Within the territory of the mysterious underworld sect, there are only 2 people who have the ability to kill Mo Longyuan and the others. One of them is Su Mingwei's mysterious combat beast emperor master, and the other is the silver masked man who killed the tree demon with a single punch. Shui Honghen pondered for a while and said, Even if the culprit is one of them, we don't have the ability to catch them. Moreover, the Western Devil sect will not believe our explanation. Shui Yurua said in distress, Yeah, we don't have any evidence to convince the Western Devil sect. The only thing we can do now is to seal off the news and not let the Western Devil sect know that something happened to Mo Longyuan and the others in the mysterious underworld sect. Shui Honghen sighed softly. Sigh, this is the only way now. Shui Yurua nodded helplessly and said, Days passed. When the experts of the mysterious underworld sect searched the entire mysterious underworld mountain range and did not find Mo Longyuan and the others, they were certain that something had happened to Mo Longyuan and the others. Feeling helpless, Shui Yurua and Shui Honghen felt that the situation was serious and immediately sealed off the news. They even placed a soul imprint on many disciples to prevent the news from spreading. Just when Shui Yurua and Shui Honghen spent a lot of effort to seal off the news of Mo Longyuan and the others, a piece of news exploded in the mysterious underworld sect. Su Mingwei, who was trapped in the mysterious underworld cave for almost a month, miraculously came out. Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 536. Su Mingwei, what did you encounter in the mysterious underworld cave for the past month? How did you manage to stay in the mysterious underworld cave for so long? Shui Yorua, Shui Honghen, and the others were in disbelief when they heard that Su Mingwei had managed to leave the mysterious underworld cave alive. They rushed over immediately to ask about it. Sect Master, the reason why I was able to stay in the mysterious underworld cave for so long is because of the mysterious underworld extreme Tao. Yi Qinfeng made up a story, casually. What? Mysterious underworld extreme Tao. Shui Yorua and Shui Honghen looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. They could not believe that the mysterious underworld extreme Tao that had not appeared for 60,000 years had been obtained by Yi Qinfeng. Su Mingwei, you have really obtained the mysterious underworld extreme Tao. Shui Yorua looked at Yi Qinfeng with a burning gaze and asked excitedly. She was very interested in the cultivation chant of the mysterious underworld extreme Tao. Yes, if Sect Master does not believe me, I can show it to you. Yi Qinfeng nodded and said, Good, good. Show it to me quickly. Shui Yorua said eagerly. She wanted to see the power of the number 1 killer move of the mysterious underworld sect that had been passed down for 60,000 years. Shui Yorua was not the only one who was excited. Shui Honghen and the other experts of the mysterious underworld sect were also looking at Yi Qinfeng with their eyes wide open. Their eyes were filled with anticipation, envy, and jealousy. Illusion Tao pattern, fire Tao pattern. 5 illusion Tao patterns and 1 fire Tao pattern gushed out of Yi Qinfeng's body. Under his control, they merged quickly and formed an illusory wild dragon. Illusion, what a powerful illusion power! Looking at the wild dragon formed by the illusion Tao pattern and fire Tao pattern, many of the mysterious underworld sect's disciples lost their consciousness. There were many illusions in their eyes, and their reactions were extremely slow. Mysterious underworld extreme Tao! Yi Qinfeng shouted. The illusory wild dragon whizzed out and bombarded the lush forest outside the mysterious underworld cave. Immediately after, there was an earth-shattering explosion. Terrifying energy swept across the land and razed the forest within a 1-mile radius to the ground. The ground trembled as a result. What terrifying power! The mysterious underworld extreme Wei truly lives up to its name. Seeing the destructive power of the Xian Ming extreme Tao, everyone present was deeply shocked, and the entire place became absolutely silent. Damn it! How could this be? Not only did Su Mingwei not die, he even comprehended the legendary Xian Ming extreme Wei. How could he have such heaven-defying luck? When he thought about how he had only managed to obtain a high-grade heaven-class soul skill from the mysterious underworld cave, while Su Mingwei had obtained a mid-grade mysterious underworld extreme Wei, this huge disparity made the eldest disciple of the mysterious underworld sect so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. His entire face was contorted in anger. Su Mingwei, you are indeed the lucky star of our profound underworld sect. With your current attack power, you really have a great chance of entering the top 10 of the Dragon Lake Sacred City. At that time, our profound underworld sect will also benefit from your glory. After confirming that the soul imprint in Yi Qinfeng's mind was still there, Shui Yorua and Shui Honghen did not suspect him. Shui Yorua's mind became even more active as she started to think about the Xianming extreme Tao. All right, everyone is dismissed. Su Mingwei, come with me. After finishing her words, Shui Yorua, who was wearing a bright red short skirt and exuded a mature charm like a peach, led Yi Qinfeng to her courtyard beside the lake. It smells so good. After entering Shui Yorua's boudoir, Yi Qinfeng smelled a faint fragrance floating in the air. The belly band, embroidered with phoenix patterns on the headboard of the bed, made Yi Qinfeng feel a little strange. "Sect Master, may I know why you are looking for me?" Yi Qinfeng quickly retracted his gaze and looked at the charming and enchanting Shui with a smile on her face as he asked softly, "Come, let's sit down and talk." Shui Yurua gestured for Yi Qinfeng to sit down and personally poured a cup of dark green tea for him. She said, "Mingwei, I have a few questions for you. I hope you can answer me honestly. If your answers satisfy me, I will reward you." After finishing her words, Shui Yorua's eyes revealed a charming look that tugged at Yi Qinfeng's heart. "Sect Master, please ask." Yi Qinfeng sneered in his heart and pretended to be reserved as he asked with flickering eyes, "Let me ask you, what is your relationship with Lingyu? Has your mysterious master left my mysterious underworld sect?" Shui Yorua went straight to the point. "Sect Master, why are you asking about Lingyu?" Yi Qinfeng pretended to be puzzled and asked, "Because something happened to Lingyu some time ago and she became extremely terrifying." Shui Yurua deliberately made up a story, but she deliberately concealed the matter about Emo Longyuan and the others. "Sect Master, is Lingyu doing well? She is one of the people that my master values. If something happened to her, my master might vent his anger on the mysterious underworld sect when he comes." Yi Qinfeng asked worriedly, "Don't worry. Lingyu is doing well, but she has left. I don't know where she went. Mingwei, tell me honestly, has your master left?" Shui Yura looked at Yi Qinfeng, who was a little excited, and asked in a low voice, "My master's life is coming to an end. She has gone to the Taitsong domain to look for panacea to prolong her life," Yi Qinfeng said with certainty. "Really?" Shui Yurua frowned slightly and asked, "I can swear to heaven that my master has gone to the Taitsong domain." Yi Qinfeng swore to Heaven Wei without hesitation. "Okay, I believe you." Seeing Yi Qinfeng swear to Heaven Wei, Shui Yurua felt that there was no fluctuation in the soul mark in his mind. She believed his words, and was basically sure that the mysterious silver-masked man had something to do with what happened to Emo Longyuan and the others. The Taitsong domain was unimaginably dangerous. If Su Mingwei's master, who was a beast emperor, really went there, the chance of him coming back alive was less than 1 in 10,000. "By the way, Mingwei, are you willing to share the cultivation formula of the Xianming Extreme Way with me? If you are willing, I can satisfy any of your requirements." Shui Yurua rolled her eyes slightly. She stood up slowly and went behind Yi Qinfeng. She deliberately squeezed her plump body on Yi Qinfeng's broad back and whispered softly in Yi Qinfeng's ear. Feeling the soft feeling from his back and the fragrance from Shui Yurua's mouth, Yi Qinfeng felt a kind of tingling sensation in his ears. A strange feeling arose in his heart, and he immediately wanted to dodge. "I order you, don't dodge." Shui Yurua clasped Yi Qinfeng's shoulders tightly and slid her fingertips gently on Yi Qinfeng's neck. She said in a commanding tone. Her charming look was enough to make many men worship her. "Master, I am willing to share the cultivation formula of the Xianming Extreme Way with you." Yi Qinfeng did not want to have too much entanglement with Shui Yurua, since the Xianming Extreme Way was inherited from the Xianming sect. Yi Qinfeng had no intention of monopolizing it. More importantly, Yi Qinfeng had already thought of a plan to deal with the Xianming sect. Therefore, he very happily taught the cultivation formula of the Xianming Extreme Way to Shui Yurua. After getting the cultivation formula of the Xianming Extreme Way, Shui Yurua was overjoyed. Her towering breasts rose and fell rapidly. "Master, if there is nothing else, I will go first. If I can't get rid of the yin qi in my body as soon as possible, it is likely to affect my performance in the Longyuan Sacred City Martial Arts competition." Just as Shui Yurua, who was in a good mood, wanted to continue seducing Yi Qinfeng, Yi Qinfeng casually found an excuse and left her boudoir. "Su Mingwei, Do you really think you can escape from my clutches? Let's not talk about the soul imprint I placed in your mind. Just my methods alone are enough to make you kneel before me. Once the Dragon Lake Sacred City Martial Arts competition is over, I will slowly play with you. I will make you stay in the profound underworld sect wholeheartedly. When she thought of Su Mingwei's amazing talent and heaven-defying luck, Shui Yuruo had an idea. She was prepared to tie him to her side at all costs so that he would be loyal to her forever. Mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 537. Time flew by, and the Dragon Abyss Sacred City Martial Arts competition was getting closer. In order to obtain a good ranking in the competition and obtain the Dragon Chi in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City to strengthen their sects, all the major forces in the Western continent were preparing with all their might. Finally, about 10 days before the martial arts competition, Shui Yuruo, who had been cultivating in seclusion, came out of seclusion. She immediately summoned all the Grand Elders, Yi Qinfeng, Shui Mozong, and the other 4 to the Xianming Hall. There are still 10 days before the martial arts competition. Since the Xianming sect is far away from the Dragon Abyss Sacred City, I have decided to bring everyone to the Dragon Abyss Sacred City tomorrow morning. Shui Yuruo, who had cultivated the Xianming Extreme Way to the minor completion realm and was not suspected by the Western Demon Sect, was in a good mood. We are finally going to the Dragon Abyss Sacred City. Mo Fengyan, we are going to meet again. Yi Qinfeng's lips curled up slightly, revealing a cold intent that was hard to detect as he muttered in his heart, "That's right. This time I tried my best to obtain 5 Long Yuan holy tokens for everyone. In other words, Su Mingwei, Shui Mozong, Chao Yin, Jing Ziki, and Hong Lin, the 5 of you can represent my profound underworld sect in the Long Yuan Holy City martial competition." As Shui Yuruo spoke, she took out 5 precious Dragon Abyss tokens and gave them to Yi Qinfeng and the other 4. This martial arts competition is the best opportunity for the Xianming sect. It is also an opportunity for all of you to make a name for yourselves. I hope that all of you can seize this opportunity and obtain a large amount of Dragon Chi for the Xianming sect. I also hope that all of you can enter the top 16 and obtain a generous reward. Shui Yuruo encouraged everyone. "Don't worry, sect leader. We will not let you down." Shui Mozong, who is the eldest disciple of the Xianming sect, stepped forward and promised loudly. "Good." Shui Yuruo nodded her head in satisfaction. She then looked at Yi Qinfeng, whom she had high hopes for, and said, "Mingwei, are you confident that you can enter the top 10 of the martial arts competition?" "Yes." Yi Qinfeng nodded his head and said solemnly, "All right, if you can really enter the top 10 of the Long Yuan Sacred City Martial Arts competition, I will definitely give you a big surprise." Shui Yuruo's eyes revealed a hint of seductiveness as she promised in front of everyone, which made Shui Mozang's face turn green with anger. Mingwei will definitely live up to sect master's expectations. Yi Qinfeng promised loudly. "All right, let's go today. Have a good rest. Tomorrow morning, we will depart for Long Yuan Sacred City. Mingwei, come with me. I have something to tell you." After that, under the jealous gazes of Shui Mozong, Chao Yin, and the others, Shui brought Yi Qinfeng back to her boudoir, which was filled with a delicate fragrance. "Mingwei, sit and wait for me for a while. I'm going to change my clothes." Shui Yuruo put down her airs as the leader of a sect, gently pressed Yi Qinfeng on the chair, gave him a charming smile, swayed her slender waist, and walked into the inner room. Change clothes. Yi Qinfeng's heart skipped a beat. Looking at Shui Yuruo's sexy back, he vaguely felt something. After a while, Shui Yuruo, who was wearing a black silk dress, walked out of the inner room with bare feet, Under the light, Shui Yurua's skin was as delicate as milk, sexy collarbone, and her breasts were faintly discernible, giving people a feeling that they were hugging a pipa, and her straight and white legs were completely exposed to the air. They were emitting a charming light, which was captivating. Sect Master, what are you doing? Although Yi Qinfeng did not have a good impression of Shui Yurua, he had to admit that Shui Yurua was indeed very charming at this time, especially her faintly discernible body, which attracted Yi Qinfeng's eyes like poison. He pretended to be flustered, stood up, and asked with flickering eyes, Mingwei, if you can win the top 10 in the Longyuan Sacred City Martial Arts Competition, I will be the woman behind you when you come here. Looking at Yi Qinfeng's slightly burning eyes, Shui Yurua's sexy red lips, curled up slightly, revealed a charming smile and promised. This, Yi Qinfeng opened his eyes wide and pretended to be surprised. What? Do you think I am not beautiful enough and not worthy of you? Shui Yurua walked over step by step with bare feet, and the fragrance of her body kept wafting into Yi Qinfeng's nose. No, I just think I am not worthy of you, Sect Master. Yi Qinfeng shook his head and said, Ha ha ha! As long as you win the top 10 in the Longyuan Sacred City Martial Arts Competition, I will immediately appoint you as the Deputy Sect Master of the Stygian Sect. At that time we will live together, and I will definitely let you live a celestial life. Shui Yorua gave a series of crisp smiles and said seductively, Rest assured, Sect Master, I will risk my life to enter the top 10 in the Longyuan Sacred City Martial Arts Competition. I will not let you down. Yi Qinfeng solemnly nodded his head and swore solemnly, Mingwei, I believe in you. Stay with me today and don't leave. Let me serve you well and encourage you. Shui Yurua's slender fingers slid up and down Yi Qinfeng's chest. Her hot body leaned against him tightly, and she looked straight into Yi Qinfeng's eyes. She said in a wanton manner, Sect Master, there are still 10 days before the Longyuan Sacred City Martial Arts Competition. I don't want to be distracted. Let's talk about it when we come. Although Shui Yorua was naturally charming and seductive and kept stirring up Yi Qinfeng's heart, Eunuch Heng had always occupied the most important place in Yi Qinfeng's heart. He was not interested in her wanton behavior. Therefore, he found an excuse to reject her. Ha ha ha! It is true that luck is not the only reason why you have such strength today. Shui Yurua smiled charmingly. She placed her head on his chest and said, All right, I will not force you any more. Go and have a good rest. See you tomorrow morning. Sect Master, I am leaving. After saying that, Yi Qinfeng turned and left without hesitation. Su Mingwei, I think you won't betray my mysterious underworld sect anymore. Shui Yorua, who was absolutely confident in her charm, revealed an enchanting and crafty smile as she muttered to herself. Although Yi Qinfeng had a soul imprint in his mind, Shui Yorua was still afraid that he would shine in the Longyuan Sacred City Martial Arts Competition and be roped in by other forces. If there was really a master who was good at array patterns to help Yi Qinfeng break the formation, the soul imprint in his mind could still be broken. Therefore, before she left, she wanted to seduce Yi Qinfeng and plant a seed in Yi Qinfeng's heart to increase her insurance, so that he would be loyal to her. However, she did not know that all her schemes were useless in front of Yi Qinfeng. Screech! A crisp bird's cry broke the gathering dawn and reverberated in the sky. Mo Fengyin, wait for me. I will give you a big gift in the Longyuan Sacred City Martial Arts Competition. I will make the Longyuan Sacred City Martial Arts Competition a nightmare for the disciples of the Western Devil Sect. After recuperating for a night, Yi Qinfeng looked at the faint light outside the window and revealed a cold smile as he said in his heart. After a simple wash, Yi Qinfeng left the courtyard where he was cultivating and went to the mysterious underworld sect. He met up with Shui Yorua, who was wearing a long emerald dress, and the others. They rode on 6 huge flying heavenly beasts and left the mysterious underworld sect to fly to the Longyuan sacred city. If you want to read Shui Yorua's WeChat account, Y1TY83 mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 538. The Longyuan Sacred City was similar to the ancient Sky City. It was a sacred city that was detached from its own continent and did not belong to any faction. It was located in the core region of the Western continent, in the center of the Dragon Soul mountain range. Due to the existence of the Longyuan Sacred City, the Longyuan Sacred City was filled with powerful dragon aura. The purpose of holding a martial arts competition here was to plunder the dragon aura in the city and temper the body. The dragon aura could also improve the sect's luck and change the development trend of a sect. We're here. The city in front is the Longyuan Sacred City. The 6 flying heavenly beasts continued to fly for about 8 days and crossed the vast area of the western continent. Finally, they reached the sky above the Dragon Soul mountain range. Looking from afar, a magnificent, majestic ancient city that had experienced the vicissitudes of life was imprinted in their eyes. What a powerful dragon aura! Sect leader, how did this Longyuan Sacred City form? Looking at the Longyuan Sacred City, located in the center of the Dragon Soul mountain range, Honglin, who was wearing a red martial arts suit and had a full body, asked curiously, I don't know how the Longyuan Sacred City was formed. However, some people say that the Longyuan Sacred City is suppressing the only dragon vein in the western continent. There are also rumors that the Longyuan Sacred City is a dragon's tomb and a divine dragon had fallen here. However, these are all rumors and have not been verified by anyone. However, when the dragon aura in the Longyuan Sacred City reaches its peak, the dragon abyss will appear. However, no one knows what is in the deepest part of the dragon abyss. There are no records in history as well. Shui Honghen, who was sitting cross-legged on the flying spiritual beast, opened her eyes and told everyone the rumors that she knew. Roar! Roar! Just as everyone was talking intensely as the Longyuan Sacred City was getting closer and closer, a series of ferocious lion roars came from afar. The terrifying roars reverberated through the 9 heavens, scaring the 6 flying heavenly beasts into screaming. Black Griffin. It's the Black Griffin of the 6th grade sect, 3 Corpse sect. Looking at the huge bird that was flapping its black wings and had a ferocious lion's head, Shui Yorua immediately recognized that it was the Black Griffin of the 3 Corpses sect. The 3 Corpse sect was a mysterious force in the western continent. They rarely showed themselves in the western continent. However, the overall strength of the 3 Corpse sect was terrifying. There was a 6th grade defiant beast king in the sect. Their overall strength was far superior to the Stygian sect. Ignore them. Let's go down. When Shui Honghen saw the experts of the 3 Corpse sect flying over, he immediately transmitted a message to them and released his powerful soul power to calm the frightened flying spirit beasts. He flew to the outskirts of the Dragon Lake Holy City and landed on a piece of green grass with a pleasant scenery. Let's rest here today and wait for the Longyuan Sacred City to open. Shui Honghen jumped off the flying spirit beast. He was very satisfied with the picturesque scenery of this place, which was close to a small lake. This place has been taken over by my 3 Corpses sect. You should go somewhere else. Just as Yi Feng and the others jumped off the flying spirit beasts, a cold and domineering voice suddenly rang out. A Class 5 reverse beast king of the 3 Corpses sect stood on the head of the Black Griffin. He was skinny and wore a long black robe. His entire body emitted a dense aura of death as he looked down at the people of the profound underworld sect and ordered without a trace of emotion. This place seems to have been occupied by my profound underworld sect first. Although Shui Honghen did not want to have a conflict with the 3 Corpses sect, she would not show any weakness. She looked at the black-robed man and said, without backing down, "Humph! So what if you have occupied this place first?" The black-robed man snorted coldly and said, "I order you to leave this place now. Otherwise, don't blame my three corpses sect for being impolite to you." "What arrogance! I want to see how your three corpses sect is going to be impolite to us." Shui Yuruo did not expect the three corpses sect to be so overbearing. They did not take the profound underworld sect seriously at all. Her face instantly turned gloomy as she spoke coldly. "It seems like you won't cry until you see the coffin. Since that is the case, don't blame me for not giving you a chance." As he spoke, the skinny black-robed man, who looked like a dried corpse, jumped down from the black griffin. Suddenly, he launched an attack at Shui Yuruo. He wanted to teach her a lesson and show the might of the three corpses sect. Three-tailed demon fox fuse. Before the black-robed man attacked, Shui Yuruo fused with the three-tailed demon fox without hesitation. A large amount of soul power burst out of her body and formed a huge illusory hand that slapped the black-robed man across the air. Boom! When Shui Yuruo and the black-robed man's attack collided, there was a shocking destructive power. The loud sound was like thunder, attracting the attention of the experts from the major forces who had arrived in advance. Not bad, not bad. I didn't expect you to be able to withstand my attack. It seems like the profound underworld sect is not all useless. However, you are still far from being able to defeat me." As he spoke, the black-robed man turned his body and tore apart the air current like a spinning top. A large amount of death ripples intertwined as he continued to attack Shui Yuruo. Profound underworld extreme Tao. The death ripples were like raging waves. Shui Yuruo did not dodge. Instead, she forcefully executed the profound underworld sect's #1 killer move, the profound underworld extreme Tao, which she had just cultivated to the great success realm. Illusion Tao will and water Tao will gushed out from her body. She was like a huge roaring dragon. The terrifying attack power shattered the death ripples easily and tore at the black-robed man. "Ah, what kind of attack is this?" Facing the attack of the profound underworld extreme Tao, a large amount of illusions appeared in the black-robed man's eyes. There was a slight delay in his reaction. This slight delay was enough to kill him and put him in danger. Seeing that the black-robed man was under the attack of the profound underworld extreme Tao skill, a tall man with grayish-white hair and dense death aura flowed between his eyebrows. He looked young, but he was a grade 5 defiant beast king. He was holding a heaven artifact long spear. Suddenly, he jumped down from a black griffin and appeared beside the black-robed man. "Sky Corpse attack!" In the next moment, a sky corpse wearing golden armor and holding a dragon head saber split out from his body and attacked the profound underworld extreme Tao together with the black-robed man. Boom! Boom! The three powerful attacks collided, and there was an earth-shattering explosion. The terrifying power seemed to be tearing the sky apart. The explosion caused the air current to surge violently. He is so young. Could he be a genius from the Three Corpse sect? Is he here to participate in the Dragon Lake Sacred City Martial Arts competition? Looking at the young face of the grayish-white man and feeling his terrifying strength, the faces of Shui Amosang and the others turned extremely ugly. They did not expect that the Three Corpse sect would have such a peerless genius. Their confidence to enter the top 16 was shaken. "Third Elder, leave this beauty to me. I will play with her." Using the power of the Sky Corpse to resist the remaining power of the profound underworld extreme Tao, the grayish-white man revealed an unruly smile. He looked at Shui Yuruo's hot body with a burning gaze. He licked his lips and said mockingly, "Luo, her attack is a little strange. You must be careful. Don't affect tomorrow's preliminary test." The black-robed old man looked at Shui coldly and said softly, "Don't worry, Third Elder. There will be no accidents." The grayish-white man said domineeringly. A powerful battle intent burst out from his body. He is really a genius from the Three-Corpse sect. He is here to participate in the Dragon Lake Sacred City martial arts competition. After knowing the identity of the grayish-white man, Shui Mo-sang and the others had a solemn expression. They felt immense pressure. Even Shui Yurua and Shui Honghen were shocked. They were shocked by the strength of the Three-Corpse sect. Just as they were about to draw their swords, a red figure appeared in the blue sky. It dyed the blue sky red and flew over with a shocking aura of blood. Behind the red figure, there were more than 10 level 6 heavenly beasts. Black Lawn. Their black wings were more than 10 meters long and covered the sky. Mo Feng Yin. Looking at the arrogant figure standing on the red figure, Yi Chen-feng, who had sharp eyes, recognized him at first glance. He was the sect master of the West Demon Sect, the #1 man in the West Continent, Mo Feng Yin. Judging from the aura of Mo Feng Yin, he had become stronger again. He should be only a step away from becoming a level 3 combat beast emperor. Tonight's photo of Shui Yurua, I want to see it. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 539. Stop Luomo. We'll let them off today. We'll deal with them during the martial arts competition. 8-inch, although the Three Corpses sect was arrogant and domineering, in front of the strongest man in the Western continent, Mo Feng Yin, they did not dare to act rashly. Seeing Mo Feng Yin riding the level 8 heavenly beast, the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat, the sect leader of the Three Corpses sect, Taoist Three Corpses, who was dressed in a long black robe and had white hair on his temples, had a slight change in expression as he immediately transmitted his voice to Mo Feng Yin. You'd better pray that you don't meet me during the martial arts competition. Otherwise, I'll break your necks and send you to the afterlife. Luo Mo's eyes flashed fiercely as he looked at Shui Mozong and the others. He warned them arrogantly, causing Shui Mozong and the others' faces to turn black. However, Yi Chen-feng ignored Luo Mo's threat. His eyes were fixed on Mo Feng Yin. He could feel a trace of danger from the aura that Mo Feng Yin was emitting. Aside from Mo Feng Yin, there was also a young man in a black eagle martial arts suit. His figure was tall and straight, like a cypress tree. His deep eyes flickered with an aura that seemed to be able to swallow the entire galaxy. His strength had reached level 6 as a defiant beast king. This young man wearing a black eagle robe was the Western Devil Sect's #1 genius, Mo Wang, who was hard to come by in 10,000 years. Arrogant. The Three Corpse sect is too arrogant. Hong Lin looked at Luo Mo and the others' backs and was trembling with anger. She gritted her teeth and said, Sai, no matter what, the Three Corpse sect has the right to be arrogant. Although I don't know the overall strength of the martial arts competition, Luo Mo is a level 5 heavenly beast king. With the help of the heavenly corpse, he should be able to get into the top 3. Shui Yurua sighed softly. There was a trace of worry between her brows. Due to Mo Feng Yin's arrival, the major forces in the Western continent didn't dare to act rashly. The natural seal around the Dragon Abyss sacred city became quiet. The disciples of the major forces who had qualified for the martial arts competition were quietly adjusting their breathing, waiting for the opening of the Dragon Abyss sacred city tomorrow. As the day of the opening of the Dragon Lake sacred city drew closer, more and more experts from various forces gathered outside the city. The atmosphere also became more and more oppressive. Among them, Yi Chen-feng saw many familiar faces. Among them were the Dark Shadow Pavilion Master Guyu, the Yu family head Yu Hong, the experts from the Illusion Destroyer Palace, and the Sky Cocoon Ridge. Although the greatest opportunity in the ethereal immortal realm had been taken away by Yi Chen-feng, Yu Hong had still obtained some of the ancient jade from the immortal realm. Her strength had greatly increased, and she was only one step away from breaking through to become a rank 1 combat beast emperor. Hey, don't feel too much pressure. The overall strength of this martial meeting is too strong. I won't set too high a requirement for you. As long as you can pass the preliminaries and enter the semifinals, it'll be fine. Shui Honghen sighed softly in his heart as he looked at the outstanding talents nurtured by the various great factions and thought of the strength of Shui Mozong and the others. That's right. I didn't expect the overall strength of the Longyuan Sacred City martial competition to be so strong. With so many geniuses fighting for the Dragon Qi, perhaps the Longyuan Sacred City that hasn't appeared for tens of thousands of years might really appear again. Shui Yurua glanced at Yi Qinfeng, who was meditating with his eyes closed and unaffected by the outside world. Then she glanced at Shui Mozong and the others who were slightly nervous and shook her head gently. Longyuan Sacred City. Yi Qinfeng, who was meditating with his eyes closed, was tempted, although the demonic wind and cloud had brought him a great threat of death. If the Longyuan Sacred City appeared, he would still risk his life and enter to fight for the great opportunity in the Longyuan Sacred City. Time passed by slowly. Soon a day had passed. When dawn replaced the night and shone on the vast land, a dragon's roar that pierced through the clouds and cracked the stones suddenly resounded in the sky above the Longyuan Sacred City. From afar, it looked as though a divine dragon was soaring in the clouds above the Longyuan Sacred City, stirring up the thick clouds and causing them to tumble violently. A divine dragon vision has appeared. The Longyuan Sacred City is about to open. Looking at the divine dragon vision that appeared in the sky above the Longyuan Sacred City, the experts from various forces stood up one after another. The disciples who had obtained the qualifications to participate in the Longyuan Sacred City's martial competition were even more excited. They couldn't wait to seize the Dragon Qi in the Longyuan Sacred City to enhance their own strength. Although the Dragon Qi in the Longyuan Sacred City was extremely precious, in order to snatch it, one had to have the Longyuan token from the Western Demon Sect and undergo the Longyuan Sacred City's test. Only those who were recognized by the Longyuan Sacred City had the right to snatch the Dragon Qi. Sect leader Mo, can the genius disciples of the various great factions accept the Longyuan Sacred City's test? Guyu, who was wearing a dark red martial arts robe that outlined her voluptuous figure, slowly walked to Mo Fingyun's side and asked in a low voice as she watched the restriction that enveloped the Longyuan Sacred City gradually disappear. Pavilion Master Gu, please wait a little longer. There are still 2 outstanding youths who haven't arrived. We'll start when they arrive. Mo Fengyin, who had his hands behind his back, revealed a rare smile and said slowly. As soon as Mo Fengyin finished speaking, Mo Fuang, who had been sitting cross-legged on the ground with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes. Rays of light shot out from his eyes that were as deep as the sea. Sect leader Mo, may I know who those 2 outstanding youths are? Gu Yu revealed a trace of surprise. She couldn't think of any outstanding youths in the Western continent that were qualified to make Mo Fengyin wait for them. You'll know in a while, Mo Fengyin said mysteriously. As Mo Fengyin didn't say anything, the eager geniuses from the various great factions didn't dare to act rashly. They suppressed their excitement and waited patiently. There were also many busybodies who were whispering amongst themselves, trying to find out who Mo Fengyin was waiting for. Ao. Just as the crowd had been waiting for nearly 2 hours, 2 heaven-shaking dragon roars suddenly rang out from the horizon, instantly attracting everyone's attention. Soon, 2 colossal creatures that were over 500 meters long flew over on white clouds at an extremely fast speed. Flood dragons, 2 level 7 heavenly beast flood dragons. Looking at the 2 Jiao dragons flying over on the clouds, almost everyone present was stunned. The noisy scene suddenly became silent. Level 7 heavenly beast black flood dragons. Who are they? Yi Qinfeng furrowed his brows slightly. He couldn't imagine that a great power would be so generous as to actually send out 2 level 1 combat beast emperors black Jiao dragons as their flying mounts. Haha, I'm sorry, sect leader Mo. The journey was a little long, and we were delayed for a while. Sorry for making you wait. The 2 black flood dragons flew over with a huge pressure, and a deep voice rang out from afar. The powerful sound waves caused many weaker disciples to feel uncomfortable. Elder Qinyuan is too polite. We didn't wait for long. Mo Fengyin smiled faintly and said politely. While they were talking, 2 black flood dragons that emitted a faint dragon's might and gave off a strong visual impact flew down. 6 martial artists with vigorous auras jumped off the black flood dragons. Could they be from the Yu family of the eastern continent? Seeing the word Yu on the jade pendants on their waists, Yi Qinfeng frowned, vaguely guessing their identities. Yi Qinfeng didn't expect that this Dragon Lake Sacred City martial competition would attract the Yu family of the eastern continent to participate. Could it be that the Western Devil sect and the Yu family have some secret cooperation? Thinking of the possibility, Yi Qinfeng frowned. If that was really the case with his relationship with the Western Devil sect, it was very likely that the Yu family would become his enemy. And if he wanted to be together with the Yu family's princess Eunuch Heng, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Mobile reading site, book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 540. Sect Leader Mo, long time no see. I didn't expect that not only did you tame a level 8 heavenly beast, you're even one step ahead of I and are about to break through to level 3 combat beast emperor. I'm really envious of you. The 3rd elder of the Yu family, Yu Qinyuan, who was wearing a moon and stars robe, exuded a strong aura. He was a level 2 combat beast emperor. Haha, strength isn't everything. If we really fight, I'm afraid I won't be Elder Qinyuan's opponent. Mo Fengyin laughed and said humbly, Come, Zhongtian, Bingyu, come and greet sect leader Mo. As he spoke, Yu Qinyuan, whose face was flushed, called the 2 top geniuses of the Yu family to his side. Zhongtian and Bingyu greet sect leader Mo. Yu Zhongtian wore an aqua blue martial arts robe. His features were chiseled, and his entire body exuded a domineering aura that could shake the world. Yu Bingyu wore a tight martial arts robe. Her twin peaks swelled up, her legs were long and straight, and her entire body was devoid of any excess flesh. She gave off a wild beauty as she walked over. Half-step combat beast emperor. Mo Fengyun's sharp eyes swept across Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu. His brows twitched slightly as he praised, Heroes indeed come from the young. The 2 of you are already half-step combat beast emperors at such a young age. Your future achievements are limitless. With the 2 of you joining this martial arts competition, you will definitely be able to activate the strongest dragon chi and open the dragon abyss. After knowing the identities of the 6 experts riding the black Jiao dragons, the experts from the various major powers all had ugly expressions, especially the geniuses who had the strength to enter the top 3 in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City and obtain more dragon chi. Their faces were extremely gloomy. With Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu's strength, they could definitely enter the top 3 in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City. In addition to the number 1 genius of the West Demon Sect, Mo Wang, who was a level 6 reverse beast king, the top 3 in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City were basically set. The Yu family. I didn't expect Mo Fengyin to invite an expert from the Yu family to participate in the Dragon Lake Sacred City martial arts competition. It seems like Mo Fengyin has set his sights on the Dragon Lake Sacred City martial arts competition. He wants to make use of the opportunities in the Dragon Lake Sacred City Martial Arts Competition to help him take the last step and break through to become a level 3 Beast Emperor. However, isn't he afraid that the two great geniuses of the Yu clan will dominate the Dragon Abyss and make his Western Devil Sex geniuses gain nothing? Yi Qinfeng glanced at the two great geniuses of the Yu clan and thought to himself. Deep in his heart, he had a feeling that with Mo Fingyun's intelligence and means, he must have a backup plan, but he couldn't imagine what it was. All right, I now announce that the Dragon Abyss Sacred City Martial Competition has officially begun. Geniuses with Dragon Abyss tokens, please come to the Dragon Abyss Sacred City and accept the test. The experts of the Yu family had arrived. Mo Fengyan didn't waste any more time and announced loudly, "Swish, swish, swish." As soon as Mo Fengyan finished speaking, the geniuses of the various factions took out the Dragon Abyss tokens that were given by the West Demon Sect. They came to the black city walls that were a few hundred meters tall and majestic. They looked up at the oldest city in the Western continent. Don't feel too much pressure. Just do your best. Shui Yuruo didn't expect such a change. At this moment, she didn't expect anyone to enter the top 10 of the Dragon Abyss Sacred City Martial Competition. She only hoped that someone could enter the semifinals and defeat the Illusion, Destroyer Palace, and Sky Silkworm Ridge. Yi Qinfeng walked slowly to the top of the Black City walls. He immediately closed his eyes and radiated the power of his God-Eater brain to sense this mysterious ancient city. At this moment, more than 10 elders and guardians of the West Demon Sect flew into the sky and released their powerful soul power to cover more than 1,000 geniuses of the various factions. They checked the Dragon Abyss tokens in their hands. After confirming that there were no mistakes, Mo Fengyan stepped on the void and announced with a deep voice, "Everyone listen to my orders. Release your soul power with all your might and inject it into the city walls of the Dragon Abyss Sacred City to accept the test. Remember, don't think of hiding your strength. If your strength doesn't reach the yellow class, you will be eliminated immediately and lose the qualification to participate in the Dragon Abyss Martial Competition." Interesting. I didn't expect the Dragon Abyss Sacred City to be able to assess one's strength. Yi Qinfeng opened his tightly shut eyes and released the soul force in his body, pouring it into the city walls that were several hundred meters tall. As the threat of Mo Fengyan was too great, Yi Qinfeng didn't dare to expose himself too early. He could only suppress the strength of his soul power. Roar, roar, roar. After integrating the soul power released by the various factions' geniuses, the deafening dragon roar echoed in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City again. The terrifying sound wave was like a surging tide that blasted into the bodies of the various disciples. PFFF, PFFF. Under the sudden attack of the dragon roar, many of the weaker disciples were directly injured. They spat out mouthfuls of blood and were directly sent flying. They fell heavily on the ground for nearly 100 meters, and lost the qualification to participate in the martial competition. Above the disciples who resisted the dragon roar's attack, a green ball of light that gradually grew bigger appeared, illuminating the entire space in green. But in the blink of an eye, the green ball of light above Yu Zhongtian, Yu Bingyu, and Mo Wang's heads turned into a demonic purple, then a dazzling yellow, and finally a fiery red. Green, purple, yellow, and red represented the 4 ranks of yellow, black, earth, and heaven. As expected of the 3 strongest people in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City's martial competition, they're already in the heaven class in such a short time. Looking at the red ball of light above Yu Zhongtian's group, many people were shocked by their strength and let out sighs of admiration. After the 3 of them, another 6 people were evaluated to be in the heaven class. Among them was the number 1 genius of the 3-corpse cult, Shirluo Mo, who is a Class 5 reverse beast king. The gap is too big. It seems like Su Mingwei has no hope of entering the top 10. Looking at the purple ball of light above Yi Qinfeng's head, Shui Yuruo and Shui Honghen looked at each other and sighed helplessly. After a few breaths, the purple ball of light above Yi Qinfeng's head suddenly turned yellow. At this moment, 18 people were evaluated to be in the heaven class. So many heaven class geniuses had only appeared 3 times in the history of the Dragon Abyss Sacred Cities martial competition. And all 3 times, the mysterious Dragon Abyss appeared. Just as the dragon roar was about to disappear and the evaluation was about to end, the ball of light above Yi Qinfeng's head changed color again. It turned into a dazzling red, attracting the attention of many people. He became the 28th heaven class genius, which made Shui Yuruo and the others very excited. This Su Mingwei really didn't disappoint me. With his strength and talent, even if he can't enter the top 10, his results won't be too bad. Shui Yuruo revealed a charming smile. She kept plotting in her heart to make Yi Chunfeng grovel at her feet after the Dragon Lake Sacred Cities martial competition. Buzz! Buzz! After the evaluation, the balls of light above everyone's head suddenly turned into a strange dragon-shaped pattern that was imprinted on their foreheads. This dragon-shaped pattern was the symbol of being recognized by the Dragon Abyss Sacred City. At the same time, they also received their first strand of dragon chi. Although the disciples who were qualified to participate in the martial competition were the geniuses of the various superpowers, there were still over 300 people who failed to be recognized by the Dragon Abyss Sacred City. They failed to condense the dragon-shaped pattern and were eliminated. All right, those who are recognized by the Dragon Abyss Sacred City can cross the Dragon Abyss City Wall. The top 20 who cross the Dragon Abyss City Wall can enter the semifinals directly. Also, you have 2 hours to cross the Dragon Abyss City Wall. Those who can't cross the Dragon Abyss City Wall in 2 hours will be eliminated. When Mo Fengyan saw that there were 28 Heaven-class geniuses and 133 Earth-class geniuses in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City martial competition, he revealed a satisfied smile and announced loudly, "Swish! Swish! Swish!" The moment Mo Fengyan finished his words, the 2 geniuses of the Yu family, Mo Wang, and the others shot across the sky like arrows. They wanted to cross the Dragon Abyss City Wall as soon as possible. However, when they were in midair, they were suddenly stopped by a powerful light screen. Relying on their absolute strength, Mo Wang and the others broke through the light screen. However, when they passed through the light screen, they mysteriously disappeared. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 541. A restricted spatial zone. I didn't expect there to be a restricted spatial zone hidden outside the Dragon Lake Sacred City. Seeing Yu Zhongtian and the other 2 disappear mysteriously, Yi Qinfeng's powerful soul perception sensed something was amiss. He developed a strong interest in this strange Dragon Lake Sacred City. At this moment, the genius disciples of the various major factions who were recognized by the Dragon Lake Sacred City all flew up into the air and fought to be the first to attack the light screen restriction hidden in the void. They were going all out to fight for the top 20 spots. Among them, there was a man who was wearing a leopard skin. His long black hair was casually draped over his shoulders. His body was extremely strong, and he gave off an unruly feeling. He attracted Yi Qinfeng's attention. He punched out without any fancy moves. The terrifying fist directly broke a hole in the spatial restriction and entered the restricted spatial zone calmly. What great strength! That punch of this person earlier contained at least 5 million gene of force. Yi Qinfeng's sharp soul perception captured the terrifying strength of the leopard skin man's fist. He was slightly moved as he spoke. "Senior brother Su, let's go together." At this moment, the enchanting Hong Lin took the initiative to walk to Yi Qinfeng's side. She revealed a charming smile and said, "Let's go." Yi Qinfeng nodded and soared into the air with Hong Lin. Together with the dense crowd, they approached the extraordinarily powerful spatial restriction. Tyrant Emperor's Seal. Blocked by the spatial restriction, Hong Lin's hands quickly formed seals. A large amount of soul force crazily surged into her hands and condensed into a tyrannical golden hand seal. She then slammed it on the spatial restriction. Gotcha! Under the attack of the Tyrant Emperor's seal, the incomparably tough spatial restriction was forcefully shattered, revealing a spatial gap that was half a person's height. After using the Tyrant Emperor's seal to shatter the spatial restriction, Hong Lin took a deep breath and rushed into the spatial gap before it closed up. She then disappeared in midair. The moment Hong Lin rushed into the spatial restriction, Yi Qinfeng also made his move. Yi Qinfeng stretched out his right index finger and drew across the void. More than 5 million gene of strength burst out and condensed into a sharp finger light. It directly tore the spatial restriction and entered the spatial restriction. What is that black bat tide? The moment he entered the restricted space, Yi Qinfeng found that there was an overwhelming number of black shadows in front of him. They were like a fierce hurricane, flying towards him at a speed that was hard to see with the naked eye. The black shadow that covered the sky and sealed off the space was formed by thousands of black bats. Yes, runes. These black bats are formed by runes. When the soul power radiated by the God-Eater brain came into contact with the tide of black bats, it discovered that these bats were not real. Instead, they were illusions formed from a large number of multiplying array patterns. At this moment, there were already many people who rushed into the black bat tide and fought intensely with the bats formed by these formation patterns. They fought fiercely, using all of their strength to break out. After a slight pause, Yi Qinfeng's Yongquan acupoint erupted with power. His feet fiercely stomped on the tough spatial wall. With astonishing physical strength, he charged straight up into the black bat tide. The black bats, formed by the formation patterns, did not fear death. They only knew how to kill. Their offensive power had reached the level of a supreme grade earth artifact. However, Yi Qinfeng's physical body was comparable to a high grade heaven artifact. Facing the attacks of the black bats, he was not afraid at all. He allowed them to attack his body as he rushed towards the end of the black bat tide at an extremely fast speed. Yi Qinfeng was like a sharp sword, cutting through the sky and destroying everything. His terrifying attacks constantly tore apart the bats that approached him. Soon, he reached the end of the black bat tide. Boom! 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 Just as Yi Qinfeng tore through the black bat tide like a hot knife through butter, a series of deafening explosions rang out. Through the dense bat shadows, Yi Qinfeng once again saw that man in leopard-patterned beast hide. He was born with great physical strength and his black hair fluttering in the wind. At this moment, he was like an invincible god of war. He was bathed in an earthy yellow light. His arms that were as thick as water buckets continued to erupt with astonishing power, shattering large swaths of black bats. Rank 5 Defiant Beast King. Not only is this person born with great physical strength, his cultivation realm is also so high. The Western continent is really full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. There are too many powerful northern spiritual region. Yi Qinfeng glanced at the leopard pattern man who seemed to be enjoying his wanton slaughter. He could not help but exclaim when he sensed his true strength. Other than the leopard pattern man, there were many other people who attracted Yi Qinfeng's attention, especially a mysterious woman who was wearing a tight black martial arts suit and a silver mask. Her strength had reached the level of a rank 5 Defiant Beast King. Yi Qinfeng took a few more glances at her. Looking from afar, the two peaks in front of the silver-masked woman's chest and slender waist were set off by the tight martial arts suit. It was enchanting and hot. She was wearing a pair of black leather pants, which made her legs even more slender and alluring. Her buttocks were perky, and it was easy for people to think of some aroused images. Her attack power made Yi Qinfeng exclaim in surprise. She was like a spatial crack that tore through the black bat tide. She passed through the bat tide very easily, broke through the end of the space, and disappeared into the forbidden space. It seems like this Dragon Lake Sacred City martial meet is not going to be easy. Because of Mo Fingyun's existence, Yi Qinfeng did not dare to overly expose his strength and trump cards. Fortunately, he had comprehended the illusion Dao pattern to the fourth heaven realm and grasped the mid-grade Dao skill, profound, underworld, extreme Dao. This gave him some ability to go against the many prodigies in the Western continent. Break! After pausing for a few breaths of time, Yi Qinfeng exerted his strength again and followed closely behind the leopard-patterned man. They broke through the spatial wall and appeared outside. He saw a long, dragon-like black city wall. Just as Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and wanted to climb over the Dragon Lake Sacred City wall in one go, an invisible hand appeared in the sky and slapped towards him like Mount Tai. 3 million kilograms of force. Break! Suddenly attacked by the invisible hand, Yi Qinfeng did not panic. The power of the spirit pearl in his Shenmen acupoint burst out and turned into a giant fist light. It streaked across the air and exploded. The vast fist force directly shattered the invisible hand. After destroying the invisible hand, Yi Qinfeng was like a swan as he climbed over the black city wall that was a few hundred meters tall. He successfully entered the Dragon Lake Sacred City that was filled with powerful dragon aura. There are so many ancient buildings. Who exactly built this Dragon Lake Sacred City? Looking around, Yi Qinfeng saw that the Dragon Lake Sacred City was filled with ancient and tall buildings. According to the shape of these ancient buildings had existed for more than 100,000 years. Among these ancient buildings, there was one that occupied an area of dozens of miles. It was emitting an austere aura and occupied the core of the Dragon Lake Sacred City. It was the most eye-catching one. He succeeded. Mingwei has entered the Dragon Lake Sacred City. After witnessing Yi Qinfeng climbing over the city wall and entering the Dragon Lake Sacred City, Shui Yorua and Shui Honghen revealed smiles. They continued to search for the other members of the mystic underworld sect, hoping that they could also enter the Dragon Lake Sacred City. 23rd place. Because Yi Qinfeng didn't use his full strength and deliberately observed the strength of the other disciples, he wasted a lot of time. As a result, he didn't make it into the top 20. He only got 23rd place and lost the qualification to enter the semifinals. It wasn't just him. The leopard skin man who was born with divine strength and had the power to move mountains and rivers didn't make it into the top 20 either. However, looking at his excited expression, he didn't care about this ranking. Yi Qinfeng's deep eyes swept across the two geniuses of the Yu family. He found an empty spot and sat down cross-legged on the ground, adjusting his breath and waiting. Time passed by the minute and second. Soon, 2 hours had passed. Due to the overall strength of the Dragon Lake Sacred City's martial arts competition far surpassing the previous ones, there were many people who passed the Dragon Lake Sacred City's test. In the end, 186 people passed the test and successfully entered the Dragon Lake Sacred City. With so many people passing the initial test, it set a new record for the Dragon Lake Sacred City's martial arts competition. In the entire mystic underworld sect, except for Jingziki, everyone else crossed the city wall and successfully entered the Dragon Lake Sacred City. They passed the test. The Longyuan Sacred City's test had ended, and the tightly shut gates of the Sacred City slowly opened. Led by Mo Fingyun and the 2 elders of the Yu clan, the various patriarchs and elders entered the ancient Longyuan Sacred City. Following an ancient road that had existed for an unknown period of time, the crowd entered the ancient Longyuan Sacred City. They entered the ancient arena that was filled with traces of the vicissitudes of life. Mobile reading site, book address, To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 542. Mingwei, Mo sang, Chaoyun, Honglin, the four of you did well. You didn't embarrass our Xianming sect. Shui Yorua, who had a voluptuous figure like a peach, tempting others to take a bite, walked over to Yi Qinfeng's group of four and revealed a mesmerizing smile. Sect Master, do you know what the next test is? Hong Lin, who had broken through the obstacles with the help of the Tyrant Emperor's seal, asked. According to the usual practice, there will be a cruel elimination round. In the end, there will be 64 semi-finalists. However, the overall strength of this year's Dragon Lake martial arts competition is too strong. A total of 186 people passed the test. Therefore, I don't know what kind of rules the Devil Sect Master will use to determine the final 64 semifinalists. Shui Yorua shook her head and said, What? You want to enter the semifinals with just the four of you? As they spoke, a discordant voice sounded. Sure, Luo Mo, who had a conflict with Shui Yorua outside the Dragon Lake Sacred City, looked at Yi Qinfeng and the others with contempt and ridiculed them. Although your three-corpse sect is powerful, you're still not the master of the Western mainland. You don't have to worry about whether my Xianming sect's disciples can enter the semi-finals. Shui Yorua's eyes flashed fiercely as she said, without backing down, You are courting death. Sure Luo Mo sneered and said, You better pray that you don't meet me in the semi-finals. Otherwise, I will twist his neck and feed his blood to my sky corpse. After saying that, Sherluo Emo laughed arrogantly and left arrogantly under the furious gazes of Shui Yuo and the others. Damn it, this person is too despicable. Han Lin was trembling with anger when she heard Sherluo Mo's arrogant words. Her face was red and she wished she could kill him with her sword. Although Sherluo Mo is arrogant and despotic, he does have the right to be arrogant. Putting aside his strength as a Class 5 Reverse Beast King, his ranking of the 5th place on the Dragon Lake City Wall is enough to prove his strength. If you meet him in the semifinals, remember not to be stubborn and admit defeat immediately. Otherwise, he might really kill you. Shui Yorua said with an ugly expression. Hearing Shui Yorua's warning, except for Yi Qinfeng, Shui Mozong and the others nodded helplessly. After seeing so many peerless geniuses in the Western continent, Shui Mo sang and the others were greatly affected. The arrogance in their hearts was long gone. Let's go to the arena. After saying that, Shui Yorua led Shui Mozong and the others who were under great pressure and followed the bustling crowd into the arena that was filled with blood and bones. They came to a corner of the spectator stand that belonged to Black Abyss County and sat together with the experts from Illusion Palace and Sky Silkworm Ridge, waiting for the next round of competition. At this moment, the eldest disciple of the Illusion Demise Palace, Shangguan Hong, and the Heavenly Silkworm Ridge's eldest disciple, Ziyin, had suffered quite a blow as well. No matter how they utilized all their abilities, they merely obtained an Earth rank evaluation and were ranked in the 40s. They'd long since lost the extravagant hope of charging into the top 10 of the Dragon Lake Martial Meeting. Dragon Chi. What a terrifying Dragon Chi. This battle arena is actually the source of the Dragon Chi in Longyuan's sacred city. Sitting on the spectator's stand, Yi Qinfeng's powerful soul spirit could feel the terrifying Dragon Chi hidden beneath the arena. This Dragon Chi had fused with the 8 square arenas that were one with a radius of 1 mile. It seems like there might be a dragon vein hidden under the Dragon Lake sacred city. Otherwise, the Dragon Chi here wouldn't be so vigorous. Yi Qinfeng thought to himself. He was looking forward to the legendary Dragon Lake. When the major forces in the Western continent sat down on their respective spectator stands, Mo Fengyin, who was wearing a long black robe and seemed to have merged with the void, stepped on the void, and slowly walked to the sky above the central arena. He said in a deep voice, "Everyone, please be quiet. Next, we'll begin the semifinals. The top 20 contestants will directly advance to the semifinals. The remaining 166 contestants will compete for the remaining 44 spots in the semifinals. As this Dragon Lake Sacred City Martial Arts competition is a grand event in the Western continent, in order to directly test everyone's strength, I have discussed with several sect masters. We have decided to conduct 2 rounds of mixed battles to determine the spots in the semifinals. The moment Mo Fingyun's words left his mouth, there was an uproar in the entire battle arena. Many of the weaker geniuses looked indignant and furious. Apart from testing one's overall strength, there was also a lot of luck involved in the mixed battle. More importantly, the mixed battle also had a high requirement for the overall strength of the sect. If there were super geniuses in the mixed battle, then all the geniuses in the sect would have a high chance of advancing to the semifinals. Mixed battle. I didn't expect Sect Master Mo to use such a method. Shui Yurua knitted her brows tightly together, and her face turned abnormally ugly. She was worried about Yi Qinfeng and the others. She was worried that the 3 corpse sect's disciples would take special care of them in the mixed battle. If that happened, all the disciples of the mysterious underworld sect might be eliminated. All right, disciples who have qualified for the mixed battle, come up and draw lots. After announcing the rules, Mo Fengyun ordered loudly. After drawing lots, Yi Qinfeng, Honglin, and Chao Yun drew the second round of mixed battle. Shui Mozong drew the first round of mixed battle by himself. In the first round of mixed battle, there were 2 experts from the 3 corpse sect. This made Shui Mozang's heart sink to the bottom. Mozong, don't be nervous. If you can't beat them, immediately admit defeat. Shui Yurua patted Shui Mozang's shoulder, whose face was slightly pale, and reminded him softly, "And I will do my best." Shui Mozong took a deep breath and stood up slowly. He walked to the central battle arena, where the 83 genius disciples from various major forces stood together, waiting for the mixed battle to begin. While waiting, Shui Mozong felt 2 indistinct murderous auras locking onto him. These 2 murderous auras were released by the 2 disciples of the 3 corpse sect. Even if I can't enter the semifinals, I will not let you guys off easily. Although Shui Mozong felt uneasy in his heart, he had experienced the tempering of life and death. He quickly adjusted his mentality and prepared to fight to the death. He wanted to make the 2 rank 2 reverse beast kings of the 3 corpse sect pay a price. Everyone is ready. Begin. With the Western Devil Sect's elder's command, the first round of mixed battle officially began. Although the geniuses from various major forces knew that the first to make a move would most likely become the target of everyone, there were still 4 genius disciples who had extraordinary strength that made a move. Their moves were like a fuse that ignited the entire battle arena. An intense mixed battle began. Die. 2 experts from the 3 corpse sect suddenly got close and launched a fierce attack at Shui Mozong. They wanted to kill him in the midst of the chaos and teach the profound underworld sect a lesson. Shui Mozong didn't panic when suddenly suffering an attack, and he swiftly retreated to a relatively safe place before attacking with all his might while holding a low-grade heaven artifact, Heavenly Sword, in his hand. The sharp sword images sealed off the space before him, and strands of illusory Tao insight ceaselessly corroded their minds and consciousness to slow down their reactions. While the 3 of them were immersed in the intense battle, there was also an intense battle happening around them. Concentrated attacks and ferocious qi waves constantly battered their bodies, breaking down their defenses. Just as Shui Mozong was under immense pressure and was about to collapse, Shengguan Haoqin, who was also one of the 3 heroes of the profound underworld county, and 2 other genius disciples of the Sky Silkworm Ridge, charged over and fought alongside Shui Mozong. With their addition, the pressure on Shui Mozong was greatly reduced. They began to exert pressure on the 2 disciples of the Three-Corpse sect. Seeing that the 2 disciples of the Three-Corpse sect were being suppressed, they suddenly summoned 2 sky corpses wearing silver armor and wielding spears. They attacked Shui Mozang's group of 4. Under the attacks of the fearless sky corpses, the pressure on Shui Mozang's group of 4 increased. Just as the 4 of them wanted to use their full strength to kill one of the sky corpses, a rank 3 reverse beast king from the Yu clan suddenly launched a fatal attack at Shangguan Haoqin, who wasn't far away. A palm filled with powerful soul power shattered Shangguan Haoqin's sternum and sent him flying out of the battle arena. After losing Shangguan Haoqin, Shui Mozang and the others were in a very difficult situation. In the end, in a chaotic battle, Shui Mozang and the other 2 Sky Silkworm Ridge disciples were all heavily injured and fell out of the battle stage. They lost the battle. Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click the save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 543. Lost. All of them lost. Looking at the severely injured Shui Mozong, Shangguan Hong, Shui Yuruo, Shangguan Hong, and the others coughed out blood. Their faces turned extremely ugly. If the Three-Corpse sect had not targeted them, Shui Mozang and Shangguan Haoqin would have had a high chance of entering the semifinals. The battle was getting more and more intense. There were people who were thrown out of the stage and lost the battle. There were also people who were unfortunate enough to die in the battle. In the end, the first round of the chaotic battle lasted for more than 2 hours. 22 genius disciples with extraordinary natural talent had the last laugh in the bloody battle, and they stood on the arena that was covered in a large amount of blood and broken limbs as they looked down arrogantly at the surroundings. Strong. They are too strong. The 22 people who entered the semifinals have all reached the Reverse Beast King realm. 7 of them are level 3 Reverse Beast Kings. This has never happened in the Dragon Lake Sacred City martial competition. Shui Honghen shook his head as he looked at the 22 disciples who had entered the semifinals. He could not help but sigh. That's right. There are 2 geniuses from the Yu family who came from afar. This Dragon Lake Sacred City martial competition will definitely be passed down through the ages. I just don't know who will be the last one standing. Shui Yuruo nodded and said, Sect leader, if the Dragon Abyss really appears in the end, what are the requirements to be qualified to enter the Dragon Abyss? Although the battle was fierce, Yi Qin Feng did not take it to heart. His thoughts were on the mysterious Dragon Abyss. He asked the sexy Shui Yuruo softly. According to the ancient records, the Dragon Abyss is the source of the Dragon Qi in the Dragon Lake Sacred City. If you want to enter the Dragon Abyss, you have to form a complete Dragon Qi body. In other words, you have to enter the top 16 of the Dragon Lake Sacred City martial competition. According to the overall strength of the Dragon Lake Sacred City martial competition, you have to be at least a level 4 Reverse Beast King to have the chance to enter the top 16. Therefore, my requirement for you is to enter the semifinals. As long as you can enter the semifinals, I will reward you handsomely when we get to the dark underworld sect. Shui Yuruo sighed softly in her heart and lowered her requirement. All right, let's go. Yi Qin Feng nodded and slowly stood up. Together with Hong Lin and Chao Yin, he leaped down from the spectator stand and landed on the blood-stained arena. Sure, Shui, Les Han. Don't show mercy in the battle later. Use all your strength to kill all 3 of them and teach the Xianming sect a lesson. Sure Luo Mo's eyes shone with a ferocious light as he stared at Yi Qin Feng and the other 2 on the battle arena. Don't worry, eldest senior brother. Watch me tear those 3 small fries apart. Corpse Sure Shui, a level 3 Defiant Beast King, licked his scarlet lips, and said savagely. He was wearing a yellow Taoist robe, and his face was sallow. Then the third-level Beast King Shu and the first-level Beast King Han condensed their soul wings and flew to the battle stage. They stood not far from Yi Qinfeng's group and looked at them with evil intentions. Not good. Sensing Corpse Shui's strength, Shui Yorua's expression changed slightly. She didn't expect the three-corpse sect to have such a deep foundation. She regretted provoking them. Enjoy your last moments. Soon, you won't be able to see this beautiful world anymore. Corpse Shui looked coldly at Yi Qinfeng's group and revealed a savage smile. He was filled with killing intent. Looking at Corpse Shui's ferocious eyes and sensing his killing intent, Hong Lin's heart trembled. Her face turned pale without a trace of blood. Chao Yin also revealed a fearful expression. An intense unease rose in his heart. Yi Qinfeng placed his hands behind his back and looked arrogantly at Corpse Shui. He said emotionlessly, "Wishes are beautiful, but reality is cruel. I have a feeling that the one who will die in the end will be you." "Ha ha ha! You think you can kill me with your level 6 profound beast ancestor strength?" Corpse Shui laughed disdainfully as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. "Soon, you'll know whether or not I can kill you." After saying that, Yi Qinfeng no longer paid attention to Corpse Shui. He slowly closed his eyes and waited for the chaotic battle to begin. Everyone is ready. The chaotic battle begins. The West Devil Sect's elder didn't waste any more time and immediately announced the start of the battle. "You, 3 pieces of trash, go to hell!" Corpse Shui roared. Surging death qi poured out of his body and gathered into a low-grade heaven artifact battle blade in his hand. He slashed at Yi Qinfeng's group with a heaven-splitting momentum. "Leave him to me." Facing San Shui's saber attack, which was filled with death qi, Yi Qinfeng quickly took out a heavy hammer. The body of the hammer was like a water tank covered with ancient patterns and weighed 50,000 kilograms. It was a low-grade heaven artifact. "Break!" Yi Qinfeng roared. The energy of the spirit bead in his Shenmen acupoint erupted and crazily poured into the ancient hammer. The hammer shattered Corpse Shui's blade image like a hot knife through butter and smashed towards his chest. What? Corpse Shui didn't expect Yi Qinfeng, who was only a rank 6 mystic beast ancestor, to have such terrifying offensive power. His expression changed, and he quickly dodged. Corpse Shui's reaction speed was extremely fast, but Yi Qinfeng's attack speed was even faster. He held the ancient hammer that weighed 100,000 kilograms with one hand and swung it horizontally. Ripples appeared in the entire space as the heavy hammer smashed towards Corpse Shui's body. Seeing that Corpse Shui was heavily injured, a heavenly corpse split off from his body and used all its power to block Yi Qinfeng's hammer attack. Boom! The ancient heavy hammer, which contained 3 million gene of force, smashed into the Sky Corpse. The powerful force directly shattered the Sky Corpse, which was comparable to a level 3 defiant Beast King. The Sky Corpse was sent flying, spraying a large amount of dark green liquid. "No one can save you. Today, you will definitely die." After killing the Sky Corpse with one hammer strike, Yi Qinfeng followed up with another attack. He swung the heavy and powerful ancient hammer and continued to attack. Waves of shocking hammer shadows continuously smashed down, bombarding Corpse Shui, whose expression changed greatly. When Corpse Shui ignited his blood qi to block the 3 hammer attacks, his arms were shattered by the hammer attacks. His body was also torn apart by the powerful force. "It's over. You can go to hell." After saying that, Yi Qinfeng leaped high into the air and poured a large amount of soul force and energy into the hammer. He smashed it down. Boom! An earth-shattering explosion rang out. The ancient heavy hammer, which was filled with shocking power, shattered Shui's full-powered attack and smashed into his body. The terrifying power crushed his body, turning him into minced meat. Such a frightening scene shocked the entire crowd. Even more so, it shocked the genius disciples beside Yi Qinfeng, causing them to not dare to launch a sneak attack. After killing Shi Shui with one strike of the hammer, a beam of light flashed under Yi Qinfeng's feet. Like a bolt of lightning, he moved through the chaotic battle and appeared in front of Shi Han, who had turned pale with fright and was desperately trying to dodge. "You can also go to hell." After saying that, Yi Qinfeng's eyes shot out illusion Dao patterns and entered Shi Leshen's eyes. It instantly bewitched his soul and slowed his reaction for a short moment. In the next moment, Yi Qinfeng smashed down with the hammer. The water tank-sized hammer directly smashed Shi Leshen's body. Blood and minced meat splattered on the ground. Shi Han died on the spot. After killing 2 genius disciples with 2 hammers, Yi Qinfeng's terrifying attack power and valiant stance intimidated everyone. For a moment, no one dared to get close to him. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 544. Shi Shui Han. Witnessing the scene of the 2 great geniuses that he had carefully nurtured being killed by Yi Qinfeng with just 2 hammers, the eyes of the Taoist Sanshi, the sect master of the 3 corpses, instantly turned blood red. A murderous aura that made people shudder erupted from his body as he glared at Yi Qinfeng. Not only was Taoist Sanshi furious, but Shi Luo, who had threatened to kill Yi Qinfeng's group and teach the mysterious underworld sect a lesson, was also furious. Yi Qinfeng's action was undoubtedly a slap to his face. He was so angry that his face turned ashen. The flames of fury in his eyes seemed to want to melt Yi Qinfeng. "Strong, too strong. Sect Master Shui, where did your disciple come from? Isn't his strength a little too terrifying?" The Sky Silkworm Ridge Master, Qi Tianshui, looked at Yi Qinfeng with a flabbergasted expression. It was as if he had seen a ghost. Smashing a rank 3 defiant Beast King to death with 1 hammer was a shocking scene that had exceeded his imagination. "Kikik, Mingwei is a top genius that our mysterious underworld sect has spent a lot of effort to nurture. He is also the future sect master of our mysterious underworld sect." Shui Yuro, who was in a good mood, let out a series of crisp laughter as she spoke. "Future sect master." Hearing Shui Yuro's words, the heavily injured and pale Shui Mozong clenched his fists tightly. His heart was filled with unwillingness. However, when he thought about how Yi Qinfeng's strength was far superior to his, he knew that he would never be able to make a comeback in this lifetime. Dragon Qi. After the 2 geniuses of the 3 corpses sect died, Yi Qinfeng felt a strange energy surging out of the martial arena and entering the dragon-shaped mark on his forehead. This strange energy was the unique dragon qi of the Longyuan sacred city. After merging with the 2 strands of dragon qi, Yi Qinfeng suddenly felt enlightened. His mind was clear. Suddenly, his keen perception sensed danger approaching. 2 fierce, murderous auras suddenly appeared behind him and launched a fatal blow at him, courting death. A virtual light flashed under Yi Qinfeng's feet. Then 2 afterimages appeared in the blink of an eye. Like a spirit serpent, he turned around in an arc and dodged the 2 fierce attacks. The sneak attack failed. 2 thin men in black martial arts suits with thin, bamboo-like swords in their hands decisively retreated, wanting to hide in the crowd. "What, you want to run after ambushing me?" Yi Qinfeng sneered. He used the shadow shifting technique and turned into an afterimage on the spot. He circled around several genius disciples who turned pale with fright and intercepted the 2 of them. Shadow stab! After being blocked by Yi Qinfeng, the 2 level 2 Beast Kings attacked at the same time. They turned into 2 streaks of light and stabbed towards Yi Qinfeng's chest. The two black-robed men's attack speed was extremely fast. However, with Yi Qinfeng's sharp senses, their every move was within Yi Qinfeng's control. Yi Qinfeng's body flashed slightly and dodged the two's attack trajectory. The ancient hammer in his hand smashed down with a powerful pressure and smashed towards their bodies. At the critical moment, the two black-robed men's bodies suddenly turned blurry. They strangely dodged the ancient hammer's attack. Boom! The ancient hammer smashed onto the ground, and there was a deafening explosion. A terrifying energy wave blasted on the two black-robed men's bodies. The impact caused the blood in their bodies to churn. They almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Illusion, Tao pattern, confusion. Just as one of the black-robed men looked at Yi Qinfeng in shock, Yi Qinfeng's deep eyes shot out a large amount of illusion Tao pattern. It penetrated his eyes and caused him to see a large amount of illusions, confusing his consciousness. 5 million gene of force break. Yi Qinfeng burst out with a shout. The surging energy surged like a tide and surged into the ancient hammer. It shattered layers of air and smashed onto the black-robed man's chest. It directly shattered his defense and shattered his sternum. The black-robed man was sent flying in mid-air and fell out of the martial stage. No one knew if he was dead or alive. "It's your turn!" After dealing with one black-robed man with one hammer, Yi Qinfeng revealed a strange smile. The illusion Tao intent burst out again and confused the other black-robed man's soul, spirit consciousness. Bang! Yi Qinfeng's arm burst with strength. The ancient hammer smashed onto the black-robed man's chest like a hot knife through butter. The black-robed man was sent flying and fell out of the martial stage. He fainted after defeating the two black-robed men. The martial stage surged with dragon aura again. It merged with the dragon pattern on Yi Qinfeng's forehead and strengthened the dragon aura in the dragon pattern. After dealing with the two Class 2 Defiant Beast Kings with lightning speed, Yi Qinfeng wielded the 50,000 gene ancient hammer and appeared beside Hong Lin and Chao Yin. Hong Lin and Chao Yin were covered in injuries and only had the strength to defend themselves. They had already retreated to the edge of the martial stage and were about to lose. Seeing Yi Qinfeng appear, the three mystic beast sect disciples that were attacking Hong Lin had a huge change in expression. They didn't even think and wanted to dodge. However, in the instant that they dodged, the power of the spiritual orb in the Yongquan acupoint under Yi Qinfeng's feet erupted. He fiercely stomped on the sturdy combat arena, and a force of 3 million gene formed a powerful energy current. Dense water ripples appeared in the air as it ruthlessly bombarded their bodies. PFFF, PFFF, PFFF. The three of them trembled as large amounts of blood spurted out from their mouths. As if they were drunk, they staggered and fell out of the martial stage, losing the right to participate in the semifinals. On the other hand, Yi Qinfeng once again plundered quite a bit of dragon aura. Yi Qinfeng's battle record of single-handedly killing 2 people consecutively and severely injuring 5 others also attracted the attention of many people. For a moment, he became the absolute focus of the second battle royale. For a moment, no one dared to approach him. Luo Mo, if you meet him in the semifinals, remember not to hold back. Exterminate him for me. Taoist 3 corpses glared fiercely at Yi Qinfeng, who was displaying his might and coldly instructed. "Don't worry, sect master. If I meet him, he'll definitely die." Sir Luo Mo nodded and said coldly, "No one is allowed to come within 5 meters of me. Otherwise, I'll kill without mercy." After sending them flying with a kick, Yi Qinfeng smashed the ancient hammer that weighed over 50,000 kilograms on the ground. He released a violent killing intent as he looked around at the geniuses of the various sects who were fighting intensely. Hearing Yi Qinfeng's warning, many of the prideful people became furious. However, when they looked at Yi Qinfeng and met his cold eyes, they suddenly felt like they were being stared at by a ferocious magical beast. They felt like their guts were about to explode. No one dared to get close to him. After intimidating everyone, Yi Chen-feng sat down cross-legged on the martial stage that reeked of blood. He ignored the bloody scene before him and silently regulated his breathing. The injured Hong Lin and Chao Yin also approached Yi Chen-feng at this moment. They wanted to borrow his deterrence, to seek protection. The Dark Knight Pavilion's master, Guyu, looked at the peerlessly overbearing Yi Chen-feng with a sharp gaze as he instructed in a low voice. "Go, investigate that person's background for me." Because Yi Chen-feng had comprehended the illusion Dao insight to the 4th level, not to mention Guyu, even Mo Fengyin was unable to see through his true body. Yes, Pavilion Master, a black-clothed man that was completely enveloped in a black robe obeyed, and then his figure flashed slightly before vanishing. It wasn't only Guyu who sent people to investigate Yi Chen-feng's identity. Even Mo Fengyin had aroused a trace of interest in him and secretly sent people to investigate him. After a short pause, the intense, chaotic battle continued. The experts of the various sects exerted all their abilities as they fought while bathed in blood. There were constantly people that were heavily injured and were thrown out of the martial stage and lost the battle. Yi Chen-feng turned a deaf ear to all this. He sat on the spot without moving like a statue as he silently waited for the chaotic battle to end. After around an hour, the 2nd round of the chaotic battle finally ended. Because of Yi Chen-feng's existence, Hong Lin and Chao Yin smoothly entered the semifinals, whereas the number 1 genius of Celestial Silkworm Ridge, Ziyin, relied on the terrifying amplification of the Celestial Silkworm transformation to persist until the end and enter the semifinals as well. At this point, all 64 semifinal participants had been determined, and the first day of the preliminary competition had ended. Reading website, address of this book. For the sake of convenience for your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record your reading record this time. You'll be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 545. Mingwei, you really didn't disappoint me. When Yi Chen-feng and the other 2 arrived at the spectator stand, Shui Yoroa, who was in a good mood, revealed a charming smile and spoke coquettishly. "Mingwei, tell me honestly, are you really only a grade 6 mystic beast ancestor?" Recalling the shocking scene earlier, Shui Honghen had a feeling that Yi Chen-feng's strength wasn't just limited to this. She asked softly, "I won't hide it from old ancestor. In the mysterious nether cave, I have already broken through to the grade 2 defiant beast king realm and comprehended the illusion Dao intent to the 2nd heavenly layer. However, there are many hidden experts in the Dragon Lake Sacred City. I don't want to expose my strength too early, so I controlled the illusion Dao intent to conceal my true strength." Yi Chen-feng knew that a grade 6 mystic beast ancestor was too low to fight against Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wuang, and the others. He could only fabricate a reason to raise his cultivation. "I see. The mysterious nether cave was the biggest secret of the mysterious nether sect." In addition to the soul imprint in Yi Chen-feng's mind, Shui Honghen, Shui Yoroa didn't doubt his words. Mysterious nether cave, it's the mysterious nether cave again. What kind of secret is hidden in the mysterious nether cave? Hearing Yi Chen-feng's words, Shui Mozong clenched his fists tightly. He swore to himself that he would enter the mysterious nether cave again in the future and obtain the greatest opportunity in the mysterious nether cave at all costs. "All right, let's go and find a place to rest and prepare for tomorrow's competition." After knowing Yi Chen-feng's true strength, Shui Yoroa was elated. She had a feeling that with Yi Chen-feng's strength and mysterious nether extreme Dao intent, he really had a chance to enter the top 16. When the Dragon Lake appeared, Yi Chen-feng would be qualified to enter the Dragon Lake that hadn't appeared for tens of thousands of years to search for great opportunities. Once he obtained some opportunities in the Dragon Lake, she would also benefit greatly. At this moment, Shui Yoroa was even more determined to conquer Yi Qinfeng. She decided to seduce him again tonight. It would be best if they could do it, so that he would remember her wonderful taste forever and stay by her side wholeheartedly. The Dragon Abyss Saint City was huge, and there were many ancient buildings in the city. It was easy for the group of people from the profound underworld sect to find an ancient courtyard that had been empty for a long time as a temporary resting place. After entering the ancient courtyard, Shui Honghen immediately took out a defensive array diagram that enveloped the entire ancient courtyard to prevent any disturbances. Mingwei, Honglin, Chaoyan, all of you go and have a rest. When the spiritual food is ready, I will ask someone to send it to your room, Shui Yoroa said considerately. Yes, sect master. Yi Qinfeng and the other two nodded. They each chose 3 quiet ancient houses and entered them to regulate their breathing and cultivate. Dragon Qi. What kind of power is this Dragon Qi? Yi Qinfeng set up an array formation in the ancient house and cleaned up the dust in the house. He sat cross-legged on the only wooden bed in the house and controlled the God-Eater brain to analyze the dragon aura contained in the dragon-shaped ancient patterns. He had a feeling that if the God-Eater brain could analyze the secrets of the dragon energy, he might be able to see through the secrets of the dragon abyss, which would be of great help to his future exploration of the dragon abyss. The night mist came. The dark night was a little cold. Under the hazy moonlight, few stars could be seen. The entire Dragon Abyss Saint City was very quiet. Mingwei, it's me. Can I come in? As the night deepened, there was a slight knock on the door. Shui Yurua's charming voice was heard outside the house. Hearing Shui Yurua's voice, Yi Qinfeng, who was controlling the God-Eater brain to analyze the dragon aura, frowned slightly. After a slight hesitation, he opened the array formation in the house. However, when he opened the door and saw Shui Yuroa, he was stunned. Under the hazy moonlight, Yi Qinfeng saw that Shui Yuroa was wearing a silky, tight night dress, which set off her perfect figure that could make any man want to commit a crime. The neckline of the nightgown was very low, which made her voluptuous weapon extremely impactful. Her sexy collarbone, deep white cleavage, and that charming and enchanting expression were enough to make most men fall head over heels for her. Mingwei, I am here to deliver the spiritual food to you. Aren't you going to let me in? Seeing a touch of amazement in Yi Qinfeng's eyes, Shui Yuroa smiled charmingly and said coquettishly, Lord, please. Although Shui Yuroa was extremely attractive at this time, Yi Qinfeng recovered after a short moment of absent-mindedness. He took the tray from Shui Yuroa and walked into the house. Mingwei, although you, Honglin, and Chaoyan have all advanced to the semifinals, judging from today's performance, it's almost impossible for them to advance to the top 16. Therefore, you are the last hope of our Xianming sect. Don't let me down. Shui Yuroa served Yi Qinfeng a bowl of meat soup cooked with the marrow of heavenly beasts. She looked at his side profile and said, coquettishly, Don't worry, Lord. I'm confident that I can advance to the top 16. Sitting close to Shui Yuroa, Yi Qinfeng could smell the delicate fragrance emitted from her body. Coupled with her unscrupulous display of her body, Yi Qinfeng could not help but guess her purpose. Mingwei, if you can advance to the top 16, I'll give you whatever you want. Hearing Yi Qinfeng's promise, Shui Yuroa was elated. She looked at him with watery eyes and slid her soft little hand directly to his thigh. Lord, what are you doing? Yi Qinfeng did not expect Shui Yuroa to be so proactive. He raised his eyebrows, grabbed her little hand that was slipping down his thigh, and asked in a low voice, Mingwei, the night is long. Why don't you let me stay with you tonight? I'll definitely let you spend the night comfortably and face tomorrow's semifinals in your best condition. Shui Yuroa's seductive red lips gently touched Yi Qinfeng's ear. She breathed a hot breath into his ear and said coquettishly, revealing her charming charm. Although Yi Qinfeng was not interested in Shui Yuroa, feeling her soft body pressing against him and smelling her fragrance, Yi Chen-feng still felt a little strange in his heart, and his heartbeat accelerated slightly. Lord, tomorrow's semifinals are very important. I don't want to be distracted. Can we wait until the end of the martial arts competition? Yi Chen-feng took a deep breath, suppressed his restless heart, and said awkwardly, "Ha ha ha, I won't make you tired. I just want you to relax. I guarantee that you'll feel comfortable and full of fragrance." Shui Yurua pressed closer to Yi Chen-feng. The fragrance from her mouth blew on Yi Chen-feng's face, making him feel numb and seductive. Lord, you also know that the top 16 of the martial arts competition in Longyuan Sacred City are related to the possible appearance of the Longyuan Dragon Abyss. So I have to do my best. There can't be any mistakes. Otherwise, all my efforts will be in vain. Yi Chen-feng restrained himself from being seduced by Shui Yurua. He seemed to be making a fierce choice and said awkwardly, "Well, then I won't force you. But if you want to, don't hold it back." After saying that, Shui Yurua, who was like a vixen, did not arouse the desire in Yi Chen-feng's heart anymore. She watched him eat the carefully cooked spiritual food, got up and left with a burst of fragrance. Looking at Shui Yurua's plump and seductive back, Yi Chen-feng's eyes gradually turned cold. From Shui Yurua's series of actions, just now, he guessed her purpose. But it was a pity that the real Su Mingwei had died long ago. Yi Chen-feng, who was determined to pursue the supreme Tao, would not be seduced by a wanton woman. Soon, Yi Chen-feng returned to normal. He removed the distracting thoughts in his mind and continued to control the god-eating brain to analyze the dragon qi. He was fully prepared for the next day's semi-finals. Mobile reading website. Book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 546. Early in the morning, a red sun slowly rose from the east. The morning light penetrated through the clouds and sprinkled on the Longyuan Sacred City, which had a long history, waking up this ancient city. The dragon qi in the Longyuan Sacred City doesn't seem to be some special energy. It's real dragon qi. Could the rumors be true? Is there really a divine dragon buried under the Longyuan Sacred City? After controlling the God-Eater brain to analyze for an entire night, Yi Chen-feng had a feeling that the dragon qi in the Longyuan Sacred City seemed to be the dragon qi in the body of a real dragon. He suspected that the Longyuan Sacred City might be the tomb of a real dragon. Moreover, with the help of the God-Eater brain, the dragon qi in the dragon-shaped ancient runes could be slowly integrated into the two-headed blood dragon king, increasing its strength. The Longyuan Sacred City is getting more and more exciting. After experiencing the benefits of the dragon qi, Yi Chen-feng muttered to himself. He was looking forward to the mysterious Longyuan Sacred City. "Mingwei, how was your rest last night?" When Yi Chen-feng walked out of the ancient house, Shui Yurua, who had been waiting outside for a long time, greeted him with a fragrance and asked kindly, "I had a good rest." Yi Chen-feng looked at the charming Shui Yurua with light makeup and replied softly, "That's good. It's getting late. Let's go to the arena." After saying that, Shui Yurua led everyone out of the ancient house and came to the arena that was filled with killing intent. They were waiting for the semi-finals to begin. As time passed, various major forces came to the arena one after another. The atmosphere became lively. Everyone was looking forward to the exciting semi-finals. "All right, everyone, be quiet." At this time, the great elder of the West Demon Sect, Emo Qianli, who was wearing a black robe with golden silk patterns, stepped on the air and appeared above the central arena. He said in a deep voice, "Yes, a first-grade combat beast emperor. I didn't expect him to not only survive in the ethereal immortal realm, but also break through the bottleneck and become a first-grade combat beast emperor. It seems like he also obtained a great opportunity in the ethereal immortal realm. Looking at Mo Qianli, who had almost been killed by him, Yi Qinfeng frowned and muttered in his mind, Mo Fengyan, Mo Qianli, and the two Yu family elders. For emperors had appeared in Long Yuan's sacred city. Once Yi Qinfeng's identity was exposed, he would be in unprecedented danger. The slightest mistake could cost him his life. However, the allure of the Dragon Abyss was too great. In order to enter the Dragon Abyss and fight for the great opportunities inside, Yi Qinfeng did not shrink back and gave it his all. The semi-finals this time will be the same as before, and it will be divided into 8 groups. The 2 people with the highest points in each group will advance to the top 16. If there is a situation where 2 people with the same points appear in the same group, the number of people who advance will be determined according to the result of the 2 parties. Also, in order to prevent the top geniuses from meeting in advance, we have decided to choose one seeded contestant from each group. There is no need to draw lots. According to the results of yesterday's preliminary round, we have already chosen 8 seeded contestants. They are Group 1, Yu Zhongtian Group 2, Yu Bingyu Group 3, Mo Wuwang Group 4, Yu Yiheng Group 5, Ing Group 6, Mo Baifeng Group 7, Shiluo Mo and Group 8, Xia Luyao. Other than these 8 seeded contestants, the rest of you, please get on the stage and draw lots to decide your groups. Mo Qianli announced loudly. As expected, Shiluo Mo is a level 5 Defiant Beast King. He has been chosen as a seeded contestant. Shui Yurua frowned slightly. She kept praying for Yi Qinfeng in her heart. She prayed that he would not be in Group 7. Otherwise, given the hostile relationship between the Three Corpse sect and the Xianming sect, Shiluo Mo would definitely kill him with all his might. However, the heavens seemed to be against Shui Yurua on purpose. The more Shui Yurua feared something, the more it would happen. After drawing lots, Yi Qinfeng happened to be in Group 7. He was in the same group as Shiluo Mo. Other than the level 5 Defiant Beast King, Shiluo Mo, the second genius of the Three Corpse sect, Shir Mosquito 2, Mo Luqing of the West Devil sect, and Xia Kuang of the Black Evil Paradise, a rank 6 sect, were also in the same group. Looking at the result of the draw, Shui Yorua and Shui Honghin's hearts sank to the bottom. They started to worry for Yi Qinfeng. However, Yi Qinfeng was very satisfied with the result of the draw. In his opinion, as long as he did not encounter Yu Zhongtian, Yu Bingyu or Mo Huang in advance, it would be the best result. Mingwei, don't feel too burdened. If you really can't do it, just admit defeat when you fight Shiluo Mo. Shui Yurua no longer had any hope that Yi Qinfeng would advance. At this moment, she only hoped that Yi Qinfeng could stay alive in the competition. Don't worry. I'm afraid it won't be that easy for him to kill me, Yi Qinfeng said stubbornly. After saying that, he did not wait for Shui Yurua to continue persuading him. He slowly closed his eyes and adjusted his breath. Haha, the heavens really want him to die. When we fight later, I'll definitely play him to death and let him die in despair. Shiluo Mo revealed a cruel smile when he found out that he was in the same group as Yi Qinfeng. He could not wait to fight with Yi Qinfeng. All right, the draw is over. Everyone get ready. In 1 hour, the 8 groups will start the competition at the same time. Mo Qianli announced loudly. 1 hour passed in a flash. Once the time was up, the geniuses of the various major powers who had drawn the first lot jumped down from the spectator stands to start the first round of the semifinals. Among the 8 groups, there was only one main battle. That was between the seeded contestant of the 5th group, the number 1 genius of the Dark Shadow Pavilion, Ing, who is a rank 5 Defiant Beast King. It's her. Looking at Ing, who was wearing a black martial arts suit, had a slender and graceful figure, and wore a silver mask, Yi Qinfeng immediately recognized her. She was the mysterious woman he had seen in the Black Bat Tide who had attacked and torn apart the restricted space. Ying's opponent was a rank 2 Defiant Beast King disciple from the Western continent's Yu Shi Sword sect, who had cultivated his sword force to perfection. In front of such a huge disparity in strength, almost no one thought that this Shi sword sect disciple would win. The spectators in the spectator stands were only hoping that this Shi sword sect disciple could hold on for a while longer and force Ing to use some of her attacking methods. Perfect sword force, title sword technique. When the competition started, the Shi sword sect disciple did not hesitate to burn his spiritual beast's bloodline and unleash his perfect sword force. He executed the Shi sword sect's first soul skill, the supreme grade, heavenly skill, title sword technique, and attacked Ing, who was exuding a sharp killing intent. Facing the tide-like attacks of the title sword technique, the silver-masked Ing silence, stood in place, and did not dodge. When the title sword technique's perfect sword force neared her, she waved her arm and interweaved a black light. Chi! The sound of cloth being torn rang out, and the title sword technique that the Shi sword sect disciple executed was torn into two by this strange black light. Without waiting for the lunar dusk sword sect's disciple to make a second reaction, this strange black light struck his body, easily breaking through his body's defenses and sending him flying. He left behind a cloud of bloody mist in midair as he fell out of the martial arena that had a radius of half a mile, losing the competition. What a fast attack! I didn't even see how Ing attacked, and that Shi sword sect disciple had already lost the competition. Sigh, the difference in strength is too big. If it wasn't because Ing didn't want to kill him, she would have been able to kill him instantly. After witnessing the scene of Ing ending the battle with a single attack, the spectators in the spectator stands were all shocked by her shocking strength and started to discuss animatedly. Ing Qiufeng defeated her opponent like she was cutting a leaf, and the other 7 martial arenas quickly decided the victor. The results of the competition were not out of everyone's expectations, and there were no dark horses. After the first round of the competition ended, the second round of the competition began immediately. In the second round of the competition, other than the mystic underworld sect, disciple Hong Lin, there was another person that Yi Qinfeng was more interested in. It was a tall and sturdy man who was born with divine strength and had the strength to move mountains and rivers. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 547. It's finally my turn. With a leap, the arrogant man crossed a distance of several thousand meters. With a loud rumble, he landed on the arena. He shook his neck that was covered with blue veins as he looked at his opponent and said excitedly, "Let's go!" His opponent was the genius of the 6th grade sect, Black Evil Paradise, Level 3 Reverse Beast King, Xie Yuetong. Oh, right, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm He Shi Tuji. I don't belong to any sect. I'm a rogue cultivator. The arrogant man grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Little beauty, if you lose to me later, you must remember my name. Rogue cultivator, where did you get your dragon abyss token from? In order to prevent accidents from happening, rogue cultivators were not allowed to participate in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City Martial Arts competition. Knowing that He Shi Tuji was a rogue cultivator, Mo Qianli's face instantly darkened and he questioned loudly. The Dragon Abyss token was given to me by my master. He Shi Tuji ignored Mo Qianli's cold gaze and said fearlessly, "Who is your master?" Mo Qianli frowned slightly and asked coldly as he looked at He Shi Tuji's arrogant face. Feeling that the atmosphere was a little strange, the noisy discussion stopped abruptly. Looking at Mo Qianli's gloomy face, the atmosphere in the arena suddenly became a little stifling. No one doubted that if He Shi Tuji's answer did not satisfy Mo Qianli would not hesitate to capture or kill him. His master is me. Mo Qianli, Do you have any objections? This Dragon Abyss token was given to me by Emo Fongyin of the previous Dragon Abyss Sacred City Martial Arts competition. If you don't believe me, you can ask him. Suddenly, an old voice rang out, and an abnormally strong old man in a black martial arts suit with snow-white hair and a face full of wrinkles and black spots appeared. His eyes were sunken into his cheeks, and he gave off an extremely dangerous feeling. Another combat beast emperor expert. Looking at the white-haired old man who suddenly appeared, Yi Qinfeng's brows tightly knitted together. He did not expect the competition to have such a change and attract another combat beast emperor expert. Demonic Taoist, the Western continent's #1 unaffiliated demonic Taoist. Many people recognized this white-haired old man. They were shocked that He Shi Tuji had such a background. Being questioned by the demonic Tao in front of everyone, Emo Qianli's complexion turned extremely ugly. But thinking of his terrifying strength, Emo Qianli didn't dare to refute him in public. Demonic Taoist, it seems that you, who are nearing the end of your lifespan, are also interested in the Dragon Abyss. You want to let your disciple enter the Dragon Abyss to fight for an opportunity for you to break through. Emo Fongyin, who was sitting on the main stand and drinking green tea, looked at the #1 rogue cultivator of the Western continent, who was also once the #1 person of the Western continent, and revealed a rare smile as he slowly stood up. Yes, I am indeed interested in the Dragon Abyss. The demon Taoist nodded and said, Now no one doubts my identity as your disciple. Let the match continue. Emo Fongyin announced loudly and personally made space for the demonic cultivator. I didn't expect you to be the demonic Taoist's disciple, but if you want to defeat me, you'll need to show some true ability. Xie Yuedong's cold face revealed a trace of seriousness. Her aura steadily rose. Ha! I don't need true ability to defeat you. I only need 3 punches. He Shi Tuji laughed arrogantly. Xie Yuedong's face turned deathly pale and her body trembled. White bone demonic art. Xie Yuetong screamed, and a large amount of soul power poured out of her body, turning into a large number of white bone swords. They hung in the air and whistled as they attacked He Shi Tuji. The white bone demonic art was the first soul skill of the evil grotto that had been passed down for tens of thousands of years. It contained the Tao of Death, and its power was close to that of a low-grade Tao skill. Under Xie Yuedong's full power, the white bone demonic art's offensive power reached a terrifying level. It was enough to threaten a rank for Defiant Beast King. A large number of white bone swords flew towards him, but He Shi Tuji was not afraid at all. He suddenly took a step forward, and all the bones in his body began to resonate. A thunderous explosion sounded under his feet, and his entire body's strength instantly reached 4,000,000 Jin. 4,000,000 Jin, break for me! He Shi Tuji roared. Powerful energy surged out, instantly turning into a huge fist the size of a water tank. It tore through the air and slammed into the white bone sword that was charging at him at an extremely fast speed. When the two attacks collided, the white bone sword that contained the will of death instantly shattered. The destructive fist light that contained a force of 4,000,000 kilograms continued to bombard Xie Yuetong, who had turned pale with fright, forcing her to dodge with all her might. Xie Yuedong's dodging speed was extremely fast, but He Shi Tuji was even faster. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Xie Yuetong and punched her towering chest. White bone demonic art, full defense. Feeling the suffocating feeling from He Shi Tuji's punch, Xie Yuetong immediately used the white bone demonic art. A large amount of white light condensed in front of her chest, forming a white bone vortex that met He Shi Tuji's punch head-on. Kacha! After meeting He Shi Tuji's punch head-on, the white bone vortex immediately let out a series of cracking sounds. Dense water ripples appeared in the air. In the blink of an eye, the white bone vortex shattered. He Shirtuji's punch ruthlessly bombarded Siewettong's chest like a hot knife through butter, shattering her sternum and sending her flying. She spat out a large amount of blood in midair and fell out of the arena, losing the battle. 2 punches, and the genius of the Black Evil Grotto, Siewettong, lost. And from the looks of it, He Shirtuji didn't even use much strength. The disciple of the demonic Tao is truly terrifying. Yeah, I didn't expect such a talented genius to appear in Longyuan's sacred city this time. I wonder if he can shake the 2 geniuses of the Yu family and spread the name of our western continent. It will be very difficult, not to mention the difference in strength between them. Just the inheritance of a rank 8 sacred land is not something the demonic Tao can compare with. However, with the strength that He Shirwuji displayed, he will definitely enter the top 16. After witnessing the scene of He Shirtuji defeating Siewettong with 2 punches, the spectators were all shocked by his strength. He also became the absolute focus of the second group match. His support rate even surpassed the seeded contestant, Mo Baifeng. What great strength! I wonder what the true limit of He Shirtuji's strength is. Yi Qinfeng's deep eyes looked at the unruly He Shirtuji with his long hair fluttering in the wind. His eyes revealed a trace of shock. He had cultivated the first stage of the spirit-body transformation stage to the 4th stage of the 9 transformations, transformation stage. His physical strength had only reached 5 million pounds, but He Shirtuji's punch had already reached 4 million pounds. Moreover, Yi Qinfeng felt that He Shirtuji still had some strength left. His true strength was probably comparable to his own. Not long after He Shirtuji defeated Siewettong, the other matches were also decided. Among them, the match between the Yu family's genius and the Dark Shadow Pavilion's genius was the most exciting. The 2 of them used all of their abilities and fought for over an hour before a victor was decided. In the end, the Dark Shadow Pavilion's genius relied on his mysterious assassination techniques to defeat the Yu family's genius, having the last laugh. As for Hong Lin, who relied on Yi Qinfeng's intimidation to enter the second round, although she had cultivated the Tyrant Emperor's seal to large success, her half-step reverse Beast King cultivation was still too low. She lasted for an incensed stick of time before losing to the Shi family's genius. It's finally my turn. After the second round of matches ended, Yi Qinfeng slowly stood up, amidst the cheers of Shui Yuruo and the others. Faint soul wings appeared on his back, and he flew towards the 7th martial arena. *CK, that Brett really hid his strength. Seeing Yi Qinfeng condense soul wings, Taoist 3 Corpse's face paled. His eyes spat out thick flames. In his view, if Yi Qinfeng hadn't hidden his strength and caused his 2 geniuses to be careless, they wouldn't have been killed. Azura Demon, Mosquito 2, I don't want him to see tomorrow's sun. Taoist 3 Corpse sinisterly said, Don't worry, Sect Master. He will definitely die. The second genius of the 3 Corpse sect, Corpse Mosquito 2, who was the first to encounter Yi Qinfeng, revealed a cruel smile. The 3 Corpse sect wanted to kill Yi Qinfeng, but they didn't know that their target wasn't a sheep but a fierce tiger with sharp fangs. Everyone, add the WeChat account YLTY83. Yunlei will be posting pictures of the Devil's Storm tonight. Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 548. Rank 2 Reverse Beast King. As expected, you are hiding your strength. Unfortunately, your opponent is me. You'll definitely lose this battle. Yi Qinfeng's opponent, the number 1 genius of the rank 6 Huang family, Huang Yueguang, a rank 3 Beast King, held a 9-foot 9-inch long spiraling sky spear in his hand. He pointed the tip of the spear at Yi Qinfeng and spoke arrogantly. You'll definitely lose in one move. Yi Qinfeng held his hands behind his back and looked at Huang Yueguang disdainfully. Huang Yueguang felt that he was already very arrogant, but compared to Yi Qinfeng, he found that he was still lacking. Good. I want to see how you'll defeat me in one move. Huang Yueguang was so angry that he laughed. A dazzling golden bird appeared around him, and a blinding light illuminated the entire martial stage. Absolute monarch spear! Raising his strength to the limit, Huang Yueguang roared, holding the inferior grade heaven tool, spiral heavenly spear. He stirred up the air currents. Like a flood dragon emerging from the sea, he pierced through the void and thrust his spear at Yi Qinfeng. Vermilion Jean, break! Huang Yueguang's spear pierced towards Yi Qinfeng, and an ancient heavy hammer that weighed 100,000 Jin appeared in Yi Qinfeng's hands. The power of the spiritual pearls in his Shenmen acupoint, Yongquan acupoint, and Shanzhong acupoint erupted and poured into the ancient heavy hammer. Bang! When the two heaven artifacts collided with each other, a deafening sound of metal exploding erupted. The force of 4 million Jin was like a violent tide as it knocked away the spiral spear in Huang Yueguang's hand and bombarded his body. PFF. Huang Yueguang's defenses shattered, and he was sent flying. He vomited a mouthful of blood and slammed into the ground, unconscious. After defeating Huang Yueguang in one move, Yi Qinfeng felt a powerful dragon qi pass through his body and enter the dragon mark on his forehead. It was faintly showing signs of condensing into a dragon tail. One move. That Su Mingwei really defeated Huang Yueguang in one move. Seeing Huang Yueguang fall to the ground with serious injuries and fall into a coma, many people's jaws dropped, revealing a look of horror. It could be said that the scene of Yi Qinfeng defeating Huang Yueguang in one move was even more breathtaking, brilliant, and shocking than his strong performance in the battle royale. Yes. Sitting in the stands, He Shiwuji's eyes suddenly widened. He looked at Yi Qinfeng as if he was looking at a prey. His eyes were full of fighting spirit. What great strength! The strength of that hammer strike just now has probably reached 8 million Jin of force. Since when did the profound underworld sect have such a terrifying inheritance? And Mo Fingyun's eyes flashed with a strange light. He couldn't help but look at Yi Qinfeng a few more times. As he looked, he suddenly felt that Yi Qinfeng gave him a sense of déjà vu, as if he had seen him before. After defeating Huang Yueguang in one move, Yi Qinfeng didn't waste any time. His body flashed, and like a swan, he leaped out of the arena and onto the spectator stand. Mingwei, you did well. Whether you can enter the top 16 or not, the battle just now is enough to make you famous in the Western continent. When we return to the profound underworld sect, I will definitely reward you handsomely. Shui Yurua looked at Yi Qinfeng with watery eyes. She kept making promises, afraid that he would abandon her. Sect Master, don't worry. I will let the profound underworld sect be in the limelight in this Dragon Lake Sacred City martial arts competition. Yi Qinfeng vowed solemnly. After saying that, Yi Qinfeng closed his eyes and silently adjusted his breathing. He controlled the God-Eater brain to devour the dragon aura in the dragon-shaped patterns to increase the strength of the two-headed blood dragon king. As the God-Eater brain continued to devour, the dragon aura in the dragon-shaped patterns kept decreasing. However, Yi Qinfeng didn't care about it. He believed that he had the ability to condense a complete dragon aura body. As time passed, the 64 contestants went up the stage one after another. Except for Yu Zhongtian, Yu Bingyu, Mo Wuang, Yu Yiheng, Ying, and Sherluo Mo, who attracted Yi Qinfeng's attention. He turned a deaf ear to the rest of the contestants. However, Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wuang, and the others' opponents weren't strong. They easily defeated their opponents and only revealed the tip of the iceberg. When it was close to noon, the first round of the semifinals ended. Everyone had a short time to recover and prepare for the second round in the afternoon. About 2 hours later, The second round of the competition began. The disciples of the various superpowers went up the stage one after another and fought fiercely for the precious dragon aura in the Dragon Lake Sacred City. After 3 rounds of intense fighting, it was finally Yi Qinfeng's turn. His opponent was the second genius of the 3 Corpses sect, the Corpse Mosquito Diagram, a rank 3 Beast King. Mosquito Diagram, that kid from the profound underworld sect, isn't simple. Don't be careless, the 3 Corpses sect master said solemnly after witnessing Yi Qinfeng defeating Huang Yueguang in one move. Don't worry, sect master. He will die for sure, Corpse Mosquito Diagram said confidently. His confidence came from the 3 sky corpses that he had refined for more than 10 years. Mingwei, be careful of the 3 corpses sect killing you. If you can't do it, just admit defeat. When Yi Qinfeng stood up, Shui Yurua reminded him softly. If anything happened to him, it would be a fatal blow to the profound underworld sect. I won't lose. After Yi Qinfeng finished speaking, he summoned his soul wings and soared into the sky. He flew directly to the battle arena and met the ferocious Corpse Mosquito 2's cold gaze. Kid, cherish your last moments. The tall and thin Corpse Mosquito Diagram opened his mouth and revealed a mouthful of disgusting yellow teeth. He looked at Yi Qinfeng coldly and said with killing intent, "You have bad breath." Yi Qinfeng frowned and took a step back as he said in disgust, "Damn it, what did you say?" Corpse Mosquito Diagram's face sank as he berated loudly. "You have bad breath." Yi Qinfeng repeated and said, "Is this the secret weapon of the 3 Corpses sect?" Ha ha ha! Just as Yi Qinfeng finished speaking, the quiet arena burst into laughter. The ear-piercing laughter made Corpse Mosquito Diagram so angry that his face turned green. His body was trembling and veins were popping out on his forehead. "You are courting death." Yi Qinfeng's ridicule had completely infuriated Corpse Mosquito Diagram. He was like an angry and hungry wolf as he let out an uncontrollable roar. A blood mosquito appeared on his body and pushed his strength to rise steadily. In the next moment, the enraged Corpse Mosquito Diagram made his move. He held a low-grade heaven artifact, blood-colored battle saber, and slashed at Yi Qinfeng. Who? When the murderous Corpse Mosquito Diagram approached Yi Qinfeng unreservedly released his killing intent that was accumulated from blood and bones. It exploded into Corpse Mosquito Diagram's body at close range. After being attacked by Yi Qinfeng's terrifying killing intent, Corpse Mosquito Diagram's heart trembled. A trace of fear appeared in his heart, and his reaction became a bit sluggish. Taking advantage of this opportunity, 4,000,000 pounds of strength surged into Yi Qinfeng's right fist like a surging tide. It formed a terrifying fistlight that carried an unparalleled pressure as it bombarded Corpse Mosquito Diagram's chest. Not good. Sensing danger, Corpse Mosquito Diagram reacted instinctively. He quickly placed his blood-colored battle saber in front of his chest to block Yi Qinfeng's ferocious fist. Bang! Yi Qinfeng's fist landed on the blood-colored saber. Together with the blood-colored saber, it slammed into Corpse Mosquito Diagram's chest, shattering his sternum and almost sending him flying out of the arena. "You want to kill me with just this bit of strength? You are really naive." Yi Qinfeng looked arrogantly at Corpse Mosquito Diagram, who was vomiting blood and kneeling on one knee, and mocked him without holding back. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 549. I will kill you. The Corpse Mosquito Diagram spat out a mouthful of blood and rapidly burned his spiritual beast's bloodline to suppress his injuries. He then slashed with his blood-colored battle saber. Reckless. Seeing the corpse mosquito diagram's murderous aura, Yi Qinfeng took out his ancient heavy hammer and wanted to use all his strength to defeat the corpse mosquito diagram's attack and kill him. Just as the two heaven artifacts clashed, a murderous light flashed across the corpse mosquito diagram's eyes. An iron-plated heavenly corpse, which was clad in iron armor and wrapped in arm-thick iron chains and was emitting dense death aura, suddenly split out from the corpse mosquito diagram's body and launched an attack at Yi Qinfeng. Yi Qinfeng didn't panic when he was suddenly attacked by the iron-plated heavenly corpse. The ancient heavy hammer that was filled with 4,000,000 kilograms of force didn't lose its momentum and heavily smashed onto the blood-colored battle saber in the corpse mosquito diagram's hand. The powerful force forcefully cracked the battle saber and caused a large amount of blood to spurt out from the corpse mosquito diagram's arm. On his left hand, he imprinted the high-grade soul skill of the profound underworld sect that had been passed down for tens of thousands of years, the Nether Extinguishing Seal. He imprinted it onto the iron-plated heavenly corpse's arms that were piercing towards him, blocking his killing blow. The instant Yi Qinfeng forcefully resolved the crisis, his sharp senses suddenly detected danger. Two sparrow-sized, blood-red, venomous mosquito blood corpses with poisonous needles that were as sharp as swords suddenly emerged from the iron-plated heavenly corpse's body and attacked Yi Qinfeng's head at a speed that was hard to be seen by the naked eye. These two venomous mosquito blood corpses were the corpse mosquito diagram's true trump card. Kid, you are still too inexperienced. Die obediently. After his plan succeeded, the severely injured corpse mosquito diagram revealed a malevolent expression. In his mind, he was already imagining Yi Qinfeng's tragic end. When Shui, Yuruo, and the others saw that Yi Qinfeng was in danger, their hearts immediately clenched. They didn't dare to continue watching. Seeing that the two venomous mosquito blood corpses had succeeded in their sneak attack, Yi Qinfeng's powerful soul spirit completely locked onto their attack trajectories. His finger that was as tough as a high-grade heaven artifact pointed out strangely and tapped on the bodies of the two venomous mosquito blood corpses at lightning speed. The terrifying finger force directly pierced through the tough bodies of the two venomous mosquito blood corpses and sent them flying. What? How is this possible? How can his reaction be so fast? The blood mosquito corpse's sneak attack had failed, and the smile on corpse mosquito 2's face suddenly froze. He didn't dare to imagine that Yi Qinfeng could actually make such a precise response in such a short period of time and neutralize the blood mosquito corpse's attack. Is this what you're relying on? Yi Qinfeng revealed a cold smile as he looked at corpse mosquito diagram, whose expression froze. Beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. Then he walked over with heavy steps and mocked him. Iron-armored heavenly corpse, poison mosquito blood corpse, attack! The development of the competition was out of control. Corpse mosquito diagram felt a strong sense of unease in his heart. He decisively controlled the iron-armored heavenly corpses with terrifying defense and the heavily injured venomous mosquito blood corpses to besiege Yi Qinfeng, making a final gamble. When the three heavenly corpses attacked, Yi Qinfeng's entire body spun and constantly smashed down with the earth-shaking hammers, attacking the three heavenly corpses ferociously. Under the attack of the ancient heavy hammers that were filled with 4,000,000 kilograms of force, the three heavenly corpses were immediately smashed into pieces. The tough, martial stage constantly echoed with deafening tremors. I admit, the three heavenly corpses were destroyed by Yi Qinfeng. The severely injured corpse mosquito diagram knew that it was over. He didn't dare to persist and was about to admit defeat. But the moment he opened his mouth to admit defeat, Yi Qinfeng's eyes burst out with a large amount of illusion Dao patterns and poured into his eyes. It instantly bewitched his consciousness, causing him to have a slight delay in his reaction. He didn't manage to shout out the last word. It's over. In the next moment, there was a flash of light under Yi Qinfeng's feet as he appeared in front of corpse mosquito diagram with lightning speed. He quickly pointed his finger and tapped on Corpse Mosquito Diagram's head. Bang! 4,000,000 kilograms of force burst out from Yi Qinfeng's fingertip. The powerful finger force directly exploded Corpse Mosquito Diagram's head and ended his life. After Corpse Mosquito Diagram died, a large amount of dragon aura immediately gushed out from the martial stage. It went through Yi Qinfeng's feet and drilled into the dragon pattern on Yi Qinfeng's forehead. It condensed into a lifelike dragon tail in one fell swoop. Damn it, you dare to break the rules and kill my 3 corpses sex disciple! When he saw Corpse Mosquito Diagram lying in a pool of blood and dead, Daoist 3 corpses felt like his lungs were about to explode. He suddenly stood up and roared in exasperation. Corpse Mosquito Diagram was different from ordinary people. Daoist 3 corpses had always nurtured him as a core force. It could be said that Corpse Mosquito Diagram's death had directly shaken the 3 corpses' sect's future foundation. It had a huge impact on the 3 corpses sect. May I ask how I broke the rules? When he heard Daoist 3 corpses roar, Yi Qinfeng, who was enveloped in dragon aura, slowly turned around. He looked at Daoist 3 corpses' furious eyes and asked without any trace of emotion. Just now, Mosquito Diagram clearly admitted defeat. Why did you kill him so viciously? Don't you know that Longyuan Sacred City has a clear rule that if one side admits defeat, they can't kill? Daoist 3 corpses aggressively questioned. Did he admit defeat just now? How come I didn't hear it? Did head Elder Emo hear it? Yi Qinfeng sneered and deliberately asked Emo Qianli, who was floating in the air. Although Corpse Mosquito Diagram wanted to admit defeat, he didn't finish speaking. Su Mingwei didn't break the rules. Emo Qianli said coldly as he looked deeply at Yi Qinfeng, who gave him a sense of familiarity. Fine. Although Daoist 3 corpses was arrogant, he didn't dare to be impudent in front of Emo Qianli. He could only grit his teeth and swallow his anger. He sat down resentfully. The competition became more and more intense. Soon, each group's competition ended. In a highlight match, Xia Lu Shao, the number 1 genius of the Black Evil Grotto and a 4th rank Reverse Beast King, was defeated by the number 3 genius of the West Devil Sect, Emo Qianxin. Xia Lu Shao was thoroughly defeated in the competition, which let the major forces once again witness the strength of the West Devil Sect. After killing Corpse Mosquito Diagram, Yi Qinfeng immediately got rid of all distracting thoughts. He controlled the God-Eater brain to continue devouring the dragon aura in the dragon-shaped patterns, increasing the power of the 2-headed Blood Dragon King. Apart from a few highlight matches, he spent the rest of his time quietly adjusting his breathing. Soon the afternoon passed. When the sun was setting in the west, the second round of group matches ended. The experts of the various major powers left the arena that was filled with a murderous aura and went to their respective places to rest and prepare for tomorrow's matches. When he arrived at the ancient courtyard, Yi Qinfeng casually found an excuse and went to his own ancient room. He laid down a large number of restriction runes and sealed the entire room. Sigh, I have too few attack methods at my disposal. Although he had won the 2 matches easily, Yi Qinfeng knew that the real test was yet to come. If he really encountered Yu Zhongtian, Yu Bingyu, Emo Fuwang, and the others, he was far from being their opponent with the current methods he had mastered. But once he exposed his trump card, Dao Will, and bloodline power, Emo Fengyin would definitely be suspicious and guess his identity. At that time, he would be in even more danger. How can I increase my attack methods in such a short time? Yi Qinfeng frowned and thought hard. He took out treasures from the universe, mirror, and thought hard. When he unintentionally took out the mysterious broken sword that he had obtained in the treasure pavilion of the Heavenly Fire Marshal House, an accident happened. The broken sword seemed to be summoned by a mysterious force and suddenly became restless, as if it wanted to break free from Yi Qinfeng's control and fly out. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 550. What's wrong with the broken sword? What's attracting it? When Yi Qinfeng saw the mysterious broken sword struggling intensely, trying to break free from his control, he raised his eyebrows, revealing a surprised expression. Other than saving his life in the cemetery of death, the broken sword in Yi Qinfeng's hand had not shown any other signs of abnormality. Originally, Yi Qinfeng had already forgotten about it, but now it was showing signs of abnormality in Longyuan's sacred city. Could there be another part of the broken sword in Longyuan's sacred city? Thinking of this possibility, Yi Qinfeng decided to take a risk and explore Longyuan's sacred city based on the broken sword's reaction in the dead of night. The night was getting darker, and the entire Longyuan sacred city was quiet. After midnight, Yi Qinfeng used the soul-devouring tactic to conceal his aura and quickly dug a hole in the house. He left the ancient courtyard that was covered by the formation map secretly and appeared in the quiet Longyuan sacred city. Over there! Yi Qinfeng took out the vibrating broken sword and sensed it. His body flashed and blended into the night, quickly flying towards the northwest of Longyuan's sacred city. This is the place. Yi Qinfeng quietly flew on the dark ancient road for about 30 minutes and came to a stone palace that seemed to have been abandoned for a long time. He found that the broken sword was vibrating more obviously here. Formation pattern. Why are there so many formation patterns hidden in this stone palace? Yi Qinfeng stepped on the ancient stone steps and walked into the abandoned stone palace. The god-devouring brain, which was operating at high speed, sensed a large number of formation patterns hidden in the ground of the stone palace and felt a little suspicious. Just as he closed his eyes and controlled the power of the god-devouring brain to radiate out to sense the formation patterns hidden in the ground of the stone palace, the restless broken sword suddenly broke free from his control and disappeared into the hard ground of the stone palace at a speed that was hard to be seen by the naked eye. Yi Qinfeng was stunned and decisively chased after the broken sword. He broke the ground of the stone palace and dived down for hundreds of meters before he was blocked by an extremely dense formation pattern restriction. Space swallowing bug, devour the restriction. Feeling that the restriction formation hidden in the ground was powerful, Yi Qinfeng immediately summoned the space-swallowing bug that had already recovered from its injuries from the heaven and earth mirror and ordered it to quickly devour the restriction formation. The restriction formation hidden in the ground was extremely powerful. It took the space-swallowing bugs more than an hour to devour a gap that was about half a person's height. Flying through the gap in the restriction, Yi Qinfeng appeared in a pitch-black space. When he held the moonlight stone in his hand and illuminated this pitch-black space, he discovered that in this pitch-black space there was a 3-meter tall stone tablet covered with 20 golden lines. And right above this mysterious stone tablet, there was half a sword that was constantly humming. The mysterious broken sword that had just broken free from Yi Qinfeng's control was currently dancing around this half of the sword. As expected, the other half of the sword is here. Looking at the half of the sword that was inserted on the mysterious stone tablet, and the material was exactly the same as the mysterious broken sword, Yi Qinfeng revealed a surprised expression. He didn't expect to find the other half of the mysterious broken sword in this ancient Longyuan sacred city. What is the origin of this broken sword? Whose sword is it? Looking at the two parts of the broken sword that seemed to have a life of their own, Yi Qinfeng increasingly felt that this sword was not simple. He was very curious about its origin. Broken sword come. In this mysterious space that was isolated from the world, Yi Qinfeng didn't have any scruples. The soul power in his body and the strength of 5 million kilograms burst out from his body and gathered into a giant energy hand. He grabbed the mysterious broken sword and forcefully grabbed it. Following that Yi Qinfeng gathered the giant energy hand again and grabbed the other half of the broken sword that was stuck on the mysterious stone tablet. He wanted to pull it out from the stone tablet too. Buzz, buzz, buzz. When the giant energy hand grabbed the other half of the sword, there was an ear-piercing, sword-humming sound. Streaks of sharp sword patterns shot out from the stone tablet and shredded the giant energy hand that Yi Qinfeng gathered, not giving him a chance to pull out the other half of the sword. Sword Dao pattern. This is a sword tablet. Looking at the sword patterns that shot out from the stone tablet, Yi Qinfeng raised his brows. He wasn't surprised, but delighted instead. He didn't expect to find a sword Dao tablet in Long Yuan's sacred city. If he could comprehend the sword Dao intent contained in this Dao tablet, his attack power would be greatly enhanced, and it would increase his life-saving trump card. God Eater Brain, infiltrate. Yi Qinfeng's mind moved, and the God Eater Brain's power radiated out completely and penetrated into the sword Dao tablet. He quickly engraved and comprehended the sword Dao pattern contained in the stone tablet. It turns out that the other half of the sword had fused with the sword Dao tablet. That was why I was attacked by the sword Dao tablet when I tried to forcefully pull out the other half of the sword. When the God Eater Brain penetrated into the sword Dao tablet, Yi Qinfeng realized that the other half of the sword had fused with the sword Dao tablet. They couldn't be separated and had become one. Roar! Roar! Just as Yi Qinfeng was trying to break the connection between the other half of the sword and the sword Dao tablet, there was an extremely ferocious roar from below the sword Dao tablet. Large amounts of black energy appeared, like blood vessels, and appeared in the sword Dao tablet. It wanted to permeate the entire sword Dao tablet. Buzz! 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 The black energy quickly spread out, and the other half of the sword that was stuck on the sword Dao tablet suddenly fused with the sword Dao tablet's power. It projected out endless sword Dao patterns like a blooming barrier and quickly shredded the black energy. For a moment, an energy that made Yi Qinfeng feel fear was released from the sword Dao tablet. It ruthlessly blasted onto Yi Qinfeng's body. Yi Qinfeng's physical body might be comparable to a high-grade heaven artifact. But when he was hit by this horrifying energy, he still vomited blood and was in extreme pain. Just as the other half of the sword and the black energy were fighting fiercely in the sword Dao tablet, the sword hilt in Yi Qinfeng's hand once again broke free from his control. It flew onto the sword body and miraculously fused with it. It fused. The sword hilt and sword body have fused. Could this sword not be damaged but separated due to some special reason? Yi Qinfeng's eyes widened as he looked at the mysterious sword that had fused into one and repaired the sword body. He felt that this sword was hiding a huge secret. In the next moment, the mysterious sword that had fused into one suddenly increased its attack power. It crushed the black energy like a hot knife through butter. Soon enough, the violently trembling sword Dao tablet calmed down again. There is a problem. There is a problem with this sword Dao tablet. Could it be that it is suppressing something extremely ominous? Yi Qinfeng didn't think that the sword Dao tablet would have such an unforeseen event. He felt that this place was very unusual. It might be related to a huge secret, and this secret might endanger his life. However, the sword Dao tablet and the mysterious sword were too attractive to him. He couldn't give up. After hesitating for a while, he decided to stay. He would control the God Eater Brain to understand the sword Dao pattern in the sword Dao tablet. He would then think of a way to take the mysterious sword away. If an accident really happened and the sword Dao tablet was released to suppress something extremely ominous, there were so many combat beast emperors in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City. There would be someone to help him. Who? Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood energy in his body. He sat cross-legged under the sword Dao tablet and controlled the God Eater Brain to emit soul power into the Dao tablet. He quickly comprehended it. This time, there were no more accidents in the sword Dao tablet. Yi Qinfeng seized the limited time and quickly controlled the God Eater Brain to engrave Tao patterns and comprehend the Tao intent. Soon, more than 4 hours had passed. Sensing that the sun was about to rise, Yi Qinfeng, who had engraved several sword Tao patterns, didn't stay for long. He quickly left this mysterious space and disappeared from the abandoned stone hall like a ghost. He went through the underground passage and arrived at the ancient courtyard. A new week, requesting Red Envelope's mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 551. At the first glimmer of dawn, figures started to appear in the ring-shaped arena that was filled with killing aura. Experts from various factions had already arrived at the arena and were waiting for the next round of competition to begin. Mingwei, your opponent today isn't strong, but don't be careless because of this. There are no mediocre people who can enter the Dragon Lake Sacred Cities semifinals. Shui Yoroa, who was on the spectator stand, looked at Yi Qinfeng, who was resting with his eyes closed, and reminded him softly. N. Yi Qinfeng nodded symbolically as he controlled the god-devouring brain to devour the dragon aura and understand the engraved sword Tao pattern while waiting for his match. Soon enough, the third day of the competition began. Disciples from various factions went up the stage to compete. Intense battle cries, shouts, and screams intertwined together, pushing the atmosphere in the arena to become more and more intense. Although Hong Lin and Chao Yun's strength was second to none in the profound underworld sect, they could only be considered to be at the bottom in the Dragon Lake Sacred Cities semifinals. When faced with the top geniuses from the various forces, they were completely powerless. It didn't take long before they lost the third round of the competition and basically lost the chance to advance. It's finally my turn. After waiting for more than 2 hours, it was Yi Qinfeng's turn. He stood up slowly and flew to the arena amidst the cheers of the Stygian underworld sect's disciples. He was waiting for his third opponent, the Yu Shi Sword Sect's prodigy, Grade 2 Reverse Beast King, Ma Guanjin. Ma Guanjin's cultivation level might not be high, but he was a prodigy. He had comprehended the sword Tao to the first level and was known as the #1 prodigy among the Yu Shi Sword Sect's younger generation. You are very strong. You are the strongest expert I have seen in my life. If you can take 7 moves from me and remain undefeated, I will admit defeat immediately. Ma Guanjin hugged a snakeskin long sword with both hands and looked at Yi Qinfeng with sharp eyes as he spoke with high battle intent. All right, then I will take 7 moves from you with my bare hands. Yi Qinfeng liked this straightforward way of speaking. He nodded and agreed without hesitation. Silence as he stood on the spot, waiting for Ma Guanjin to make his move. Clang! With an ear-piercing sword hum, Ma Guanjin's snakeskin sword was unsheathed. A glaring sword light shone into Yi Qinfeng's eyes. At the next moment, Ma Guanjin's body turned blurry and attacked Yi Qinfeng like a bolt of lightning. Ma Guanjin's sword was too fast, so fast that no one could react. In the blink of an eye, the low-grade heaven sword in his hand stabbed towards Yi Qinfeng's throat. Just as Yi Qinfeng's throat was about to be pierced by the sword, 2 of Yi Qinfeng's fingers suddenly appeared in front of the sword's trajectory, clamping down on the tip of the sword, preventing it from moving forward. In the next moment, vermilion gene of force shot out from Yi Qinfeng's fingers, passing through the low-grade heaven sword and into Ma Guanjin's right arm. The tremors caused Ma Guanjin's arm to feel a hint of numbness, and he almost lost his grip on his sword. Such immense strength. After exchanging moves with Yi Qinfeng, Ma Guanjin finally realized how terrifying Yi Qinfeng's strength was. He no longer concealed his strength. 10 sword Tao patterns gushed out from his body and fused into the low-grade heaven sword. He forcefully pushed away Yi Qinfeng's fingers and continued to attack. Streaks of sword shadows shot out violently, enveloping Yi Qinfeng like a violent storm. Due to the speed of his sword strikes being too fast, it gave people the illusion that he wasn't cleaving with a sword, but with streaks of lightning that drew across the sky. It was so fast that it was too much for the eyes to take in. Ma Guanjian's fast sword intent was rather powerful, but under Yi Qinfeng's powerful soul-spirit perception, it wasn't a threat at all. Yi Qinfeng effortlessly dodged the fast sword's trajectory and dealt with his attacks calmly. I still have one more move. If you can withstand this move of mine, I will immediately admit defeat. Seeing that Yi Qinfeng was unscathed and was able to withstand his 6 killer moves, Ma Guanjian burst out with a yell. His entire body skimmed into the air as he executed his strongest killer move, Lunar Dusk Sword. The 10 sword Dao patterns gushing out from Ma Guanjian's body instantly converged. It was like the tide of the moon on the horizon. It swept across the void and was as deep as the stars as it cleaved towards Yi Qinfeng. All right, then let's decide the victor in one move. Looking at the whistling sword edge and the awe-inspiring Lunar Dusk Sword, vermilion gene of force gushed into Yi Qinfeng's right fist. With a single punch, an unparalleled and horrifying sword light was shot out. The boundless fist light compressed the 4 million gene of force to the limit and crushed the spatial zone, causing ripples to appear. Crack! 2 powerful forces clashed together. Ma Guanjian's Lunar Dusk sword shattered like glass. The horrifying fist light didn't reduce in power as it bombarded towards Ma Guanjian, whose expression changed drastically. He couldn't dodge in time and was sent flying. PFFF! A large amount of blood sprayed out from Ma Guanjian's mouth. He was like a kite with a broken string as he fell to the ground from midair and lost the match. Powerful, too powerful. I didn't expect the mysterious underworld sect to actually produce a dark horse. It seems like he might be able to kill his way out of the 7th group and enter the top 16. Let's wait until he defeats Shiluo Mo or Mo Lu Qing to enter the top 16. Shiluo Mo's strength is the strongest in the 7th group, and no one is a match for him. However, I feel that Su Mingwei has the strength to fight with the West Devil sex prodigy, the female devil Lu Qing. However, it is hard to say who will win. After witnessing the scene of Yi Qinfeng defeating Ma Guanjian, many people were once again disappointed by his strength. They started to discuss incessantly. After defeating Ma Guanjian with absolute strength, Yi Qinfeng, who had fused with a large amount of dragon aura, didn't waste any time. He directly flew out of the arena and went to the spectator stand. He continued to control the God-Eater brain to comprehend the Sword Dao pattern and absorb the dragon aura from the dragon-shaped pattern to strengthen the 2-headed Blood Dragon King. The competition was in full swing, and soon the morning's competition was over. During the morning's competition, there was another focal battle. It was the battle between the West Devil Sect's number 1 genius, Mo Wuang, and the Dark Shadow Tower's number 2 genius, Kuei. The Dark Shadow Tower was the number 1 assassin organization in the Western continent. They had inherited a large amount of unfathomable assassination soul skills and Dao intents. Facing Kuei's endless stream of strange and swift soul skills, Mo Wuang didn't dare to be careless and dealt with them seriously. The two of them fought intensely for about 30 minutes before Mo Wuang relied on his formidable strength to suppress Kuei's attacks and finally defeated him. This battle allowed the various major powers to witness Mo Wuang's strength, and his chances of becoming the champion continued to rise. This Mo Wuang is indeed a strong opponent. If it wasn't Mo Wuang who went to Ancient Sky City back then, and not Azure Ice Mountain, I'm afraid I wouldn't be his match. After witnessing the battle between Mo Wuang and Kuei, Yi Qinfeng had a general understanding of his strength. Furthermore, he had a feeling that Mo Wuang had only used about 50% of his strength in the previous battle. He hadn't even used a single one of his trump cards. The morning's competition passed very quickly. The The various major powers contestants took advantage of the afternoon break to quickly adjust their condition and prepare for the afternoon's competition. About 2 hours later, the fourth match was about to begin. And for the fourth match, Yi Qinfeng was the first to go up. His opponent was the Shi clan's genius, Shi Sen, who was known for his defensive abilities. After witnessing Yi Qinfeng's shocking strength, Shi Sen knew that he wasn't a match for him. He used all his strength to block more than 30 moves before his body's defenses were shattered, and he had no choice but to admit defeat. At this point, Yi Qinfeng had won 4 matches in a row. However, his remaining 3 matches were all tough fights. Especially his last match against Shirluo Amoshueyo was filled with worry. However, Yi Qinfeng's thoughts had already drifted to the sword Dao steel below the abandoned stone hall. He couldn't wait to continue comprehending the sword intent contained within the sword Dao steel. He wanted to increase his offensive strength and pull out that mysterious sword. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button below to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 552. It was late at night, and the sky was filled with sparkling stars. It was gorgeous and mysterious. Sensing that it was quiet outside, Yi Qinfeng immediately left the ancient courtyard through the hole that he dug last night. He quickly arrived at the abandoned stone hall. With the help of the Space Devourer, he entered the mysterious space and continued to comprehend the sword Dao pattern in the sword Dao steel. He had a feeling that if he could comprehend the sword Dao intent in the sword Dao steel, he would have a great chance of pulling out that mysterious sword. The moment of enlightenment was always very short. Seeing that Yi Qinfeng had comprehended the sword Dao intent to the 3rd heavenly layer, he calculated the time and felt that it was almost dawn. He had no choice but to stop comprehending the sword Dao pattern and leave quietly. He went to the ancient courtyard to prepare for today's competition. Yi Qinfeng's 2 matches today were tough battles, especially the battle with the West Devil Sect's genius, Devil Luqing. He didn't dare to be careless. After dawn, Yi Qinfeng took a simple bath in his room and met up with Shui, Vuo, and the others who were waiting outside. They headed to the martial arena to prepare for the 4th day's competition. Mingwei, today's 2 matches are very important. If you win both matches today, you will be able to enter the top 16 even if you forfeit tomorrow. However, your 2 opponents today are very strong, especially Devil Luqing. She is an expert in your group, who is second only to Shirluo Mo. So you have to go all out. If you can't, you have to use your trump card, Xianming Extreme Dao. Shui Yuruo was a little worried about today's battle and warned him seriously. I know. After speaking, Yi Qinfeng closed his eyes and waited in silence for his match with Xia Kuang in the morning. With the arrival of all the major factions, the 4th day of the competition began. Among them, the most popular was the Yu family's prodigy, Yu Zhongtian. He defeated the Yu family's prodigy, Yu Yanguang, who had won 4 matches in a row and shocked everyone, and Obscurus, who had caught Yi Qinfeng's attention from the beginning, was even more terrifying. With just 1 move, he had severely injured Mo Ranjin, who had won 4 consecutive matches and had a high chance of entering the top 16. The competition was in full swing, and soon it was Yi Qinfeng's turn to fight. His opponent, Xia Kuang, had only lost to Shirluo Mo. He was Yi Qinfeng's strongest opponent so far. Xia Kuang's character was as arrogant as his name. He looked at Yi Qinfeng with contempt and said, "Kid, your good luck has come to an end. If you don't want me to break your neck, you better kowtow and admit defeat. That way, I'll be in a good mood and spare your life. You really talk a lot of nonsense." Yi Qinfeng looked at him coldly and said without a trace of emotion, "Nonsense." Xia Yi opened his mouth and said in a sinister voice, "I'll let you know right away whether or not I'm talking nonsense." As he spoke, a powerful, baleful aura emanated from his body. He was like an evil wolf that had been lying in wait for a long time. He bared his sharp teeth, preparing to attack. Childish. Sensing Xie Yiquang's baleful aura locking onto him, Yi Qinfeng shook his head and didn't move. He took a light step forward. This step might be very light, but once it was taken, Yi Qinfeng's entire aura had a drastic change. With his body as the center, a horrifying killing intent emanated. It tore apart Xie Yiquang's baleful aura and caused the air in the entire martial stage to freeze. And interesting. Since you don't know what's good for you, I'll fulfill your wish. Xie Yiquang was startled, and his expression instantly turned cold. 2 6 feet and 6 inches long low-grade heaven swords that were covered with ancient dark patterns appeared in his hands. He launched a fierce attack at Yi Qinfeng. Just as Xie Yiquang's body spurted out 5 sword Dao patterns and intertwined into sharp sword shadows, 30 illusion Dao patterns suddenly appeared in Yi Qinfeng's eyes. They were like resplendent starlight that poured into his eyes. Xie Yiquang's strength might be impressive, but his soul spirit wasn't his forte. When he was attacked by 30 illusion Dao patterns, a large number of illusions immediately appeared in front of his eyes. His reaction was slightly delayed. Seizing the opportunity when Xie Yiquang's reaction was delayed, Yi Qinfeng swiftly blasted out a palm strike. The palm light that was filled with 4,000,000 kilograms of force brought along an unparalleled pressure and ruthlessly smashed onto Xie Yiquang's chest. It shattered Xie Yiquang's body defense and forced him to retreat repeatedly. A large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth and splattered on the ground. After succeeding in one strike, Yi Qinfeng didn't give Xie Yiquang any chance to catch his breath. The illusion Dao patterns in his eyes burst out again and poured into Xie Yiquang's eyes. It continued to confuse Xie Yiquang's consciousness and made him unable to counterattack with his full strength. Third level of the illusion Dao intent. Mingwei actually comprehended the illusion Dao intent to the third level. What kind of fortuitous encounter did he obtain in the mysterious underworld cave? Looking at the 30 illusion Dao patterns that burst out from Yi Qinfeng's eyes, Shui, Yoroa, and the others' hearts were in turmoil as they revealed intense astonishment. Yi Qinfeng's performance had completely exceeded their expectations and gave them a huge surprise. Boom! Boom! In just 10 breaths of time, Xie Yiquang's physical injuries were so severe that he vomited blood and fell to the ground like a dead dog. He was howling in pain and had almost lost his combat ability. Do you admit defeat? Yi Qinfeng looked down at Xie Yiquang, who was covered in blood and severely injured, and asked arrogantly, I don't like to repeat myself. If you insist on not admitting defeat, then don't blame me for being merciless. Yi Qinfeng looked at Xie Yiquang, who was still trying to resist, and warned him coldly. Don't tell me you want to kill me. Do you know the consequences of killing me? Xie Yiquang didn't expect Yi Qinfeng to be so bold as to threaten his life in front of everyone. He forced himself to get up and roared furiously at Yi Qinfeng. Since you don't know what's good for you, I will fulfill your wish. Yi Qinfeng's eyes flashed with killing intent as a suffocating force locked onto Xie Yiquang. I admit defeat. Sensing the killing aura from Yi Qinfeng's body and seeing that he was really going to kill him, Xie Yiquang knew that Yi Qinfeng wasn't scaring him. Yi Qinfeng really dared to kill him and had no choice but to admit defeat in humiliation. Su Mingwei wins. Hearing that Xie Yiquang had admitted defeat, the tournament's supervisor, the West Devil Sex Elder, immediately announced in front of everyone. He didn't want to give Yi Qinfeng a chance to kill him. After defeating Xie Yiquang, a large amount of dragon aura continued to surge out from the stage and poured into the dragon pattern on Yi Qinfeng's forehead, faintly condensing 1/5 of the dragon aura body. After defeating Xie Yiquang with ease, Yi Qinfeng flew to the spectator's stand under the astonished gazes of everyone. He closed his eyes and continued to regulate his breathing, absorb the dragon aura, and deduce the sword Dao pattern. Lu Qing, that Su Mingwei's strength is unfathomable. When you fight with him in the afternoon, you must resist the corrosion of the illusion Tao intent. Otherwise, you will probably end up like Xie Kuang, Emo Liuqing's master, a West Devil Sex elder who still retained her beauty, warned sternly when she saw Yi Qinfeng's performance. Don't worry, master. I have my own ways to restrain his illusion Tao intent. Emo Liuqing, who was wearing a dark red martial Tao robe and had a large jade green gem around her neck, spoke with confidence. Her eyes flickered with dense battle intent. She was looking forward to the battle with Yi Qinfeng and ending his winning streak. The tournament continued with endless excitement. Witnessing the battle between the top geniuses of the Western continent, the spectators in the spectators' stand cried out in satisfaction. Soon enough, the tournament on the fourth day ended, and the top 16 were about to be born. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 553. The scorching sun was scorching, and there wasn't a single cloud in the sky. The entire martial arena was so quiet that it was somewhat depressing. After several hours of deduction, the statue-like Yi Qinfeng had successfully comprehended the 6 sword Tao patterns engraved by the God-Eater brain. In addition to the 23 sword Tao patterns that he had comprehended earlier, he only lacked one more sword Tao pattern to cultivate his sword Tao intent to the 3rd heavenly layer, which would greatly increase his attack power. At this moment, the afternoon semifinals were nearing its end. With Shui Yorua's reminder, Yi Qinfeng abruptly woke up from his epiphany. It's my turn! Yi Qinfeng opened his eyes, and the sharp light that burst out from his deep eyes made Shui Yorua's heart palpitate. It was as though she was being stared at by the world's most venomous snake, causing her hair to stand on end. Senior Brother Mingwei, do your best. You must win. Hong Lin, who was wearing a red dress, clenched her fist tightly. She looked at Yi Qinfeng, who was slowly standing up with a steady aura, and cheered for him. Yi Qinfeng nodded and leaped down from the spectator stand. He flew to the martial arena and held the ancient heavy hammer that weighed 50,000 kilograms. Silence as he waited for his opponent, Emo Liuqing. Seeing Yi Qinfeng on the stage, Emo Liuqing, who was wearing a dark red martial Tao suit and looked like a poisonous rose, tapped her toes lightly and turned into a dazzling afterimage in midair. She cut across the sky and appeared on the martial arena in a stunning manner, right in front of Yi Qinfeng. Silence. Emo Liuqing looked at Yi Qinfeng and felt his natural aura presence. Her beautiful eyes couldn't help but reveal a trace of seriousness. She had a feeling that Yi Qinfeng was much stronger than she had imagined. He gave her a feeling of invulnerability. However, as the Western Devil Sex elite prodigy, she also had a powerful trump card. She believed that her trump card was enough to turn the tide and defeat Yi Qinfeng. As the competition supervisor gave the order, the competition started. Swish, swish. 2 ear-piercing sounds rang out as Yi Qinfeng and Emo Liuqing moved at the same time, launching fierce attacks at each other. Just as the two of them were about to clash, Yi Qinfeng's eyes shot out 30 illusion Tao patterns which penetrated into Emo Liuqing's eyes. He wanted to confuse her consciousness and gain the upper hand. Buzz, buzz. As the 30 illusionary Tao patterns pierced through, the huge green gem on Emo Liuqing's neck suddenly shot out a ray of illusory light. It surged into her mind and formed a protective layer, forcefully resisting the attacks of the illusionary Tao patterns. Yes, a soul-protecting xenogenic treasure. Yi Qinfeng raised his brow, not expecting Emo Liuqing to have such a rare soul defensive exotic treasure. Azure cloud silk coil. The moment the green gemstone blocked the illusion Tao pattern attack, 2 dark green ancient patterns flowed on it. They were low-grade heaven artifact, grade cloud silk, and they shot out from Mo Liuqing's body. They coiled around Yi Qinfeng's body like spirit snakes. It's over. You have lost. After successfully coiling around Yi Qinfeng, Mo Liuqing's exquisite face revealed a trace of a cold smile. A huge, colorful snake with a single horn emerged from her body and enhanced her soul power. Blood Devil Seal! Mo Liuqing yelled out as her hands twisted rapidly, forming an extremely powerful Blood Devil Seal. She launched a fatal attack at Yi Qinfeng, wanting to severely injure him in one go and end the battle. Not good. Mingwei is in danger. Seeing Yi Qinfeng being tightly coiled by the azure cloud silk, Shui Yoroa and the others had a drastic change in expression as they stood up from their seats. As for Mo Liuqing's master, the plump West Devil Sect elder, she revealed a faint smile and was no longer worried. It is still too early to say that it is over. Just as everyone thought that Yi Qinfeng was going to lose, the power of the 4 spirit pearls in Yi Qinfeng's body burst out. His physical strength instantly reached 5 million kilograms of force and filled his body. Break! Yi Qinfeng let out a roar as volcanic energy erupted from his body and poured into the low-grade celestial artifact, the azure cloud silk. The violently boiling power of 5 million jin tore apart the azure cloud silk that was wrapped around his body. Following that, Yi Qinfeng quickly punched out, bombarding Mo Liuqing's Blood Devil Seal at close range. He relied on his absolute strength to block her sure-kill attack. What kind of power is this? Is he a humanoid monster? Mo Liuqing's eyes widened. She couldn't believe that Yi Qinfeng relied on his absolute strength to tear apart the low-grade azure cloud silk and block her sure-kill attack. On the spectator stand, He Shituji felt Yi Qinfeng's explosive physical strength, and his eyes immediately burned with fighting spirit. He couldn't wait to fight with Yi Qinfeng to determine the victor. Devil Sect Master, who is that white-clothed disciple? The Yu family's 3rd elder also revealed a trace of interest towards Yi Qinfeng. He turned to ask the frowning Mo Fengyin. His name is Su Mingwei. He is a disciple of the 6th rank profound underworld sect. This was because Yi Qinfeng had once given Mo Fengyin a familiar feeling. After watching his competition, Missouri Fengyin immediately sent people to investigate him and found out his name. However, Mo Fengyin didn't do any in-depth investigation and didn't know much about him. For a 6th rank power to be able to raise such a genius, it seems this child must have had some other fortuitous encounter. If he can enter the top 8 of the martial meet, my Yu family is willing to raise him. The Yu family's 3rd elder revealed a trace of interest towards Yi Qinfeng. He was planning to recruit him into the Yu family, relying on his absolute strength to break Mo Liuqing's sure-kill attack. Yi Qinfeng immediately launched a tidal wave of attacks at her, suppressing her attacks and forcing her to retreat again and again. Myriad Change Black Lotus. Seeing that Mo Liuqing had been forced out of the arena by Yi Qinfeng, she clenched her teeth and quickly ignited her spirit, beast bloodline, and blood chi to condense the extremely destructive Myriad Change Black Lotus and attack Yi Qinfeng. Yi Qinfeng was well aware of the destructive power of the Myriad Change Black Lotus. However, the power of this Myriad Change Black Lotus was less than 1/10 of Mo Fengyun's. It couldn't pose the slightest threat to Yi Qinfeng. Ancient Heavy Hammer, break! Yi Qinfeng clenched the ancient heavy hammer with both hands. His 5 million kilograms of strength surged into the ancient heavy hammer and smashed into the Myriad Change Black Lotus with unstoppable force. An earth-shattering explosion rang out. The ancient heavy hammer, which contained a force of 10 million jin, detonated the 10,000 transformations Black Lotus. Endless black light spread out and bombarded Yi Qinfeng and Mo Liuqing at close range. Uft! Mo Liuqing's body trembled, and a mouthful of blood spurted out of her mouth. Her entire body uncontrollably flew out of the arena, Mo Luqing didn't expect to lose the battle without using her strongest trump card. Yi Qinfeng was also forced back by the explosion of the myriad change Black Lotus. A trace of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. However, this trace of blood wasn't caused by Yi Qinfeng's injury. He had deliberately forced it out to create the illusion of an injury to confuse Mo Fengyun and the others so that they wouldn't be suspicious. He won. Ming Wei really defeated Mo Luqing. When Shui Yorua and the others saw the severely injured Mo Luqing fall out of the dueling ring, Shui Yorua and the others were pleasantly surprised. Even if Yi Qinfeng lost to the Shi Luo demon in the final match, he would still advance to the top 16, 1/3 of the dragon aura body. After defeating Mo Luqing, Yi Qinfeng immediately felt a powerful dragon aura drilling into the dragon pattern on his forehead. However, because a lot of the dragon aura in the dragon pattern was devoured by the two-headed blood dragon king, he only managed to condense 1/3 of the dragon aura body after winning 6 battles in a row. It was far from half of the dragon aura body condensed by Sherluo Mo Sect Master. I was heavily injured in the battle with Mo Luqing. I want to go and recuperate first and prepare for tomorrow's battle with Sherluo Mo, Yi Qinfeng, who was pretending to be injured, said in a low voice. Ming Wei, do you need me to help you recuperate? Shui Yorua asked nervously. No need. I have a way to heal my injuries in a short time. However, no one is allowed to disturb me while I'm recuperating. Otherwise, it might worsen my injuries. Yi Qinfeng shook his head and said, All right, I'll ask Hong Lin to send you there. Thinking of Yi Qinfeng's means and his mysterious beast emperor realm master, Shui Yorua did not insist. She asked Hong Lin to escort Yi Qinfeng to the ancient courtyard in advance. When he arrived at the ancient courtyard, Yi Qinfeng immediately entered the house and set up hundreds of restriction formations to seal the entire ancient courtyard. Then, he quietly left through the tunnel in the house. With his powerful soul perception, Yi Qinfeng avoided a lot of trouble and once again came to the mysterious space under the abandoned stone hall. He controlled the God-Eater brain to continue comprehending the Sword Dao Steel, mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 554. Sword Dao Intent, 3rd Level. Yi Qinfeng sat cross-legged under the Sword Dao tablet and comprehended in silence for more than 6 hours. Finally, he comprehended the 30th Sword Dao pattern, and his Sword Dao Intent reached the 3rd level. As his Sword Dao Intent increased, Yi Qinfeng's body flashed and appeared on the Sword Dao tablet. He released 30 Sword Dao patterns and fused them into the mysterious sword. He wanted to forcefully cut off the connection between the Sword Dao tablet and the mysterious sword. 5 million pounds of force. The moment the 30 Sword Dao patterns appeared, Yi Qinfeng gripped the mysterious sword's hilt tightly. His arms exploded with 5 million pounds of force as he tried to pull it out from the Sword Dao tablet. Kacha! Under Yi Qinfeng's 5 million pounds of force, the mysterious sword that was stuck on the Sword Dao tablet loosened a little. It caused cracks to appear on the Sword Dao tablet. At this moment, a large number of Sword Dao patterns gushed out from the Sword Dao tablet and attacked Yi Qinfeng. They didn't want to give him a chance to pull out the mysterious sword. Roar! 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 Just as the Sword Dao tablet was attacking Yi Qinfeng ferociously and forcing him away, there was a deafening roar. A large amount of demonic energy appeared under the Sword Dao tablet again. It penetrated the Sword Dao tablet at an extremely fast speed, trying to break it apart. When the black demonic energy appeared, the mysterious sword and the Sword Dao tablet resonated at the same time. They released the Sword Dao patterns to destroy the demonic energy. The two powerful forces clashed fiercely in the Sword Dao tablet. After more than 1 hour, The demonic energy was once again destroyed by the mysterious sword and the Sword Dao tablet. However, after the intense attack, cracks appeared on the surface of the Sword Dao tablet again. Many golden ancient patterns were cracked, which greatly affected the Sword Dao tablet's power. It seems like this Sword Dao tablet is suppressing an ominous object. I just don't know how this ominous object, the mysterious sword, and the Dragon Lake Sacred City are related. Looking at the cracked Sword Dao pattern, Yi Qinfeng frowned. He didn't dare to continue pulling out the mysterious sword. He continued to sit under the sword steel and controlled the God-Eater brain to engrave the Sword Dao pattern contained in the sword steel. Soon enough, one night had passed. Sensing that the sun was about to rise, Yi Qinfeng, who still wanted to continue, had no choice but to stop engraving the Sword Dao pattern. He left this mysterious spatial zone that was filled with strange mysteries and arrived at the ancient house that he temporarily stayed in like a ghost. He was waiting for the sun to rise for the final group match with the corpse Luo demon. Although victory was not related to advancing to the top 16, in order to plunder more dragon energy, nourish the two-headed blood dragon king, and condense a complete dragon energy body, Yi Qinfeng still decided to fight with all his strength and advance with a perfect record. About half an hour later, a soft ray of morning light penetrated the night sky and illuminated the world. It was daybreak. Mingwei, how are your injuries? If you haven't recovered yet, why don't you give up today's competition? When she saw Yi Qinfeng, who had changed into a new set of clothes, walking out of the ancient house, Shui Yuro, who had been worried about his injuries, immediately went up and spoke softly. Don't worry, Sect Patriarch. My injuries are basically healed. I can fight the corpse Luo demon with all my strength. Yi Qinfeng's mouth curved up slightly as he spoke with a confident smile and high battle intent. All right then. Since your injuries are healed and you insist on fighting, I won't persuade you anymore. However, if you lose to the corpse Luo demon in the end, you must remember not to force yourself. Your life is the most important thing. Shui Yurua reminded him solemnly. She was afraid that he would have an accident and cause the mysterious underworld sect to lose its future pillar. Don't worry, Sect Patriarch. I know what I am doing. Let's go to the martial arena. After finishing his words, Yi Qinfeng and the group left the ancient house and headed for the martial arena. Just as Yi Qinfeng and the group appeared outside the martial arena, they coincidentally bumped into the group from the Three Corpses sect. When Yi Qinfeng and the corpse Luo demon's eyes met, invisible sparks flew. The atmosphere instantly became oppressive. I hope you won't give up like a girl and admit defeat in front of everyone. When the corpse Luo demon met Yi Qinfeng's eyes that were as deep as the ocean, he opened his mouth and revealed his slightly yellow teeth. He deliberately provoked him. Don't worry. I will do as you wish and fight with you. Yi Qinfeng said calmly. No one could guess what he was thinking. Haha, then I will wait for you. The corpse Luo demon laughed arrogantly and did not continue to argue with Yi Qinfeng. He turned around and walked into the martial arena. Luo demon, kill that brat for me at all costs. I don't want him to live to see the sun tomorrow. When he thought about how the corpse Mosquito 2 and the rest died in the hands of Yi Qinfeng, the Three Corpses sect patriarch was so angry that he gritted his teeth and gave the order to the corpse Luo demon. Don't worry, sect master. He will definitely die. The corpse Luo demon solemnly vowed. As the various large powers experts arrived, the final group battle began. Other than the battle between Yi Qinfeng and the corpse Luo demon, the battle between the Western Devil Sect's number 2 genius, Mo Baifeng, was also worth looking forward to. Sect Master Mo, how about we make a bet? Let's see if your disciple is stronger or if my disciple is stronger. The Western Continent's number 1 loose cultivator, the demonic Taoist, smiled faintly as he looked at the black rock earth pole who had inherited his legacy and was born with divine strength. Haha, what do you want from me? Mo Fengyan laughed. His relationship with the devil Taoist was clearly not bad. My disciple is lacking a high-grade celestial item. How about we bet a high-grade celestial item? If I lose, I will give you my high-grade, bloodthirsty celestial item, said the devil Taoist. It seems you are very confident in your disciple. Mo Fengyun smiled. All right, I'll bet with you. With a peak-grade celestial item, Mo Fengyun no longer cared about high-grade celestial items. He very happily made a bet with the devil Taoist. And at this time the battle between the Black Rock Earth and Mo Baifeng began. As soon as they came up, the two of them used all their skills and fought fiercely. For a time, a large number of afterimages appeared in the entire martial arena. The attacks were like thunder, too much for the eyes to take in, dazzling and dazzling. Although Mo Baifeng's talent was extraordinary, and he had replaced the dead Bing Songshan as the number 2 genius of the Western Devil Sect's younger generation, whether it was in terms of cultivation or attack power, there was a certain gap between him and the Black Rock Earth. After fighting for over an hour, his attacks were gradually suppressed. Death Black Wheel! With his attack being countered, Mo Baifeng immediately executed his killer move. 15 dark Dao patterns shot out from his body and fused together, forming 7 flying wheels that emitted dense death chi. They tore apart the violent air and spiraled towards Hey Sure Tuesday, Celestial Dipper Fist. Black Rock Earth fiercely took a step forward, and 5 million kilograms of strength erupted from his body. He sent out a tyrannical fist light that shook the black wheels. Great devil slaying dragon blade. Just as Black Rock Earth was relying on his absolute strength to destroy the 7 black wheels, Mo Baifeng soared into the sky. His entire body fused with the mid-grade celestial item saber in his hand, and he used his strongest move, man and weapon, as one as he slashed at the unavoidable Black Rock Earth, wanting to end this battle in one move. Earth Dao Intent Defense. At the crucial moment, 30 Earth Dao patterns shot out of Black Rock Earth's body, forming a whirlpool of Earth Intent above his head. He forcibly blocked the great devil slaying Dragon Blade. What? Earth Dao Intent 3rd Heaven Stage. Mo Baifeng didn't expect Black Rock Earth to have comprehended the Earth Dao Intent to the 3rd Heaven Stage and block his killing move. While he was still in shock, Black Rock Earth took advantage of the moment when he used the great devil slaying Dragon Blade and once again sent out a celestial dipper fist. The tyrannical fist light that contained 5 million kilograms of strength smashed through Mo Baifeng's defense, sending him flying. He raised his head and spat out a mouthful of blood as he fell off the stage, losing the battle. Mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading. Next time you open your bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 555. Hey, Sure Tuji, this is a strong opponent. After witnessing the scene of Hey Sure Tuji defeating the number 2 genius of the Western Demon Sect, Mo Baifeng, Yi Qinfeng had to admit that this person was very strong. He was a very strong opponent. Without using his trump cards and bloodline power, it would be very difficult for him to defeat this person. Haha, Sect Master Mo, you let me win. Seeing that Hey Sure Tuji had the last laugh, the demon Taoist laughed and won a high-grade heaven artifact from Mo Fengyun. After the battle between Hey Sure Tuji and Mo Baiyun ended, Yi Qinfeng closed his eyes and rested, waiting for his battle with Shirluo Mo. After more than 2 hours, the first 5 rounds of the battle ended. Finally, it was Yi Qinfeng and Shirluo Mo's turn to focus on the battle. Mingwei, remember not to force yourself. Your life is the most important. Although Yi Qinfeng appeared to be very calm, Shui Yorua was still worried about his safety and warned him seriously. Yi Qinfeng nodded, holding the ancient heavy hammer that weighed over 100,000 jin. He leaped up and landed heavily on the martial arena like a deity descending from the heavens. Luo Mo, kill him at all costs. Looking at Yi Qinfeng, who had a sharp gaze and a straight back, emitting a domineering aura, Daoist Sanchi's eyes shot out a murderous glint as he ordered fiercely. He will definitely die. As he said that, Luo Mo summoned a level 6 heavenly beast level black tortoise corpse, about 3 meters in diameter, its entire body dark gold, its 4 limbs like stone pillars. Stepping on its several meters thick and indestructible shell, Luo Mo flew onto the stage. Such a terrifying, refined corpse. A grade 5 reverse beast king and a grade 6 mystic turtle corpse. I'm afraid that Su Mingwei won't have any chance of winning. That's right. This mystic turtle corpse is only the first refined corpse that Luo Mo summoned. I wonder how terrifying his other 2 heavenly corpses are. Feeling the terrifying aura of the mystic turtle corpse, many people exclaimed. Almost no one thought that Yi Qinfeng could defeat Luo Mo, Tao pattern of death. Yi Qinfeng looked at the mystic tortoise corpse that was constantly roaring with bloodshot eyes. With a thought, the God-Eater brain's power radiated out and seeped into the mystic tortoise corpse's massive body. He discovered that its body was filled with more than 10 death Tao patterns. According to the information from the God-Eater brain, these death Tao patterns had a special connection with the Luo demon. The Luo demon was using these death Tao patterns to control the mystic tortoise. After discovering the secret of Luo's ability to control corpses, Yi Qinfeng was no longer worried about the threat of the sky corpses. He had already thought of a way to deal with them. Su Mingwei, as a man, do you dare to fight me to the end and never admit defeat? Luo Mo pointed the tip of his spear at Yi Qinfeng, provoking him. It was a medial grade heaven artifact. Why wouldn't I dare? The corners of Yi Qinfeng's mouth curled up slightly as he replied without backing down. Mingwei, you can't fight him to the end. When Shui Yorua heard that Yi Qinfeng actually agreed to fight Luo Mo to the end, her expression changed drastically. She immediately stood up and shouted to stop him. Yi Qinfeng's performance in the first 6 rounds was flawless and stunning. However, Shui Yorua wasn't optimistic that he would be able to defeat the Luo Mo, who had concealed himself well. I hope you will do as you say. Luo Mo ignored the shouting Shui Yorua. The corners of his mouth curled up into a cold arc as he spoke in a sinister tone. I also hope you won't be a despicable person who goes back on his words. All right, enough nonsense. Let's fight. As Yi Qinfeng spoke, he let out a roar. A powerful aura burst out from his body, causing the air around him to ripple. The terrifying physical oppression made Luo Mo feel suffocated. Roar. A powerful roar erupted from the mystic turtle corpse's bloody mouth. It dispersed the physical oppression released by Yi Qinfeng and blasted towards Yi Qinfeng's body. The moment the mystic turtle corpse attacked, Luo Mo held his blood-colored spear and launched a fatal attack towards Yi Qinfeng. Death ripple. Black ripples shot out from the blood-colored spear tip, causing the space to fluctuate. It attacked Yi Qinfeng's body at an extremely fast frequency. Yi Qinfeng didn't panic when he was attacked by both the mystic turtle corpse and Luo Mo at the same time. The power of the 4 spiritual pearls in his body burst out at the same time and filled his arms instantly. Yi Qinfeng roared as he held the ancient heavy hammers tightly in his hands. He waved them around rapidly and instantly intertwined more than 10 heavy hammers with a force of 1,000 caddies. He shook the incoming roar and death ripples and used his absolute strength to break the attacks of Luo Mo and the mystic turtle corpse. Mystic turtle corpse, entangle him for me. Seeing Yi Qinfeng's shocking strength, Luo Mo was slightly shocked as well. He immediately ordered the profound tortoise corpse, which only knew how to kill, to attack Yi Qinfeng, to create a sure kill opportunity for himself. You came at the right time. I shall use you as an experiment." When the mystic turtle corpse approached with a dense death aura, 10 life Tao patterns gathered in Yi Qinfeng's right hand and blasted towards the mystic turtle corpse's extremely tough body. Boom! When the mystic turtle corpse was attacked by Yi Qinfeng's fist that contained 5 million caddies of force, its massive body trembled violently and uncontrollably retreated. At the same time, the 10 Tao patterns of life gathered in Yi Qinfeng's fist surged into the mystic tortoise's body without anyone noticing. They destroyed the Tao patterns of death in its body and forcibly cut off the connection between the Tao patterns of death and the corpse demon. Roar! Roar! When the life and death Tao patterns clashed fiercely, the mystic turtle corpse let out a painful howl. Its massive body went out of control and frantically scurried around the spacious martial stage, completely breaking free from Luo Mo's control. What happened? What happened to the mystic turtle corpse? Looking at the mystic turtle corpse that suddenly went out of control, Luo Mo revealed a surprised expression. Ever since he refined the mystic turtle corpse, such an unforeseen event had never happened. Just as he released the death Tao patterns and wanted to control the mystic turtle corpse, Yi Qinfeng launched a fierce attack at him. The powerful ancient heavy hammers continuously bombarded his body, forcing him to dodge repeatedly. What happened? What happened earlier? Why did Senior Brother's mystic turtle corpse suddenly go out of control? Looking at the mystic turtle corpse that went out of control, the 3 corpse sect's disciples were all stunned. They all looked at the gloomy Taoist 3 corpse. How did he do it? Could he be the nemesis of my 3 corpse sect? Taoist 3 corpse was also stunned by the scene in front of him. No matter how hard he racked his brain, he couldn't imagine that Yi Qinfeng actually had a way to sever the connection between Luo Mo and the mystic turtle corpse. For the first time, he started to worry for Luo Mo. After dodging more than 10 attacks from the ancient heavy hammers, Luo Mo immediately launched a counterattack at Yi Qinfeng. A skeletal bird with white bones appeared on his body and boosted his soul power. Corpse King Spear! With a huge boost in soul power, Luo Mo immediately launched a counterattack. 9 dark Tao patterns fused into the blood-colored spear in his hand. He thrust out a spear light that was filled with dense death aura, thrusting it at Yi Qinfeng. 5 million kilograms of strength break! As Luo Mo thrust his spear over, a thunderous explosion sounded under Yi Qinfeng's feet. He raised his ancient heavy hammer and welcomed the attack. When the 2 heaven artifacts clashed, the 5 million kilograms of strength in the ancient heavy hammer instantly burst out. The terrifying strength ferociously clashed with the Corpse King's spear's attack and forcefully pressed the blood-colored spear into a crescent shape. Bloodline ignition. Feeling the vibration from the blood-colored spear, Luo Mo didn't hesitate to ignite his bloodline power and continue to increase his strength. He increased the attack power of the Corpse King's spear and forcefully shattered the ancient heavy hammer. Crack! Crack! The 2 of them didn't give in to each other for 5 breaths of time. The low-grade heaven artifact ancient heavy hammer was shattered. However, the moment the ancient heavy hammer was shattered, Yi Qinfeng used Shifting Phantom and suddenly appeared behind Luo Mo, who was slightly out of control. His right hand that was filled with 5 million kilograms of strength firmly grabbed onto Luo Mo's shoulder and forcefully pulled him up. In the next moment, Yi Qinfeng exerted strength again and performed a beautiful shoulder throw, slamming Luo Mo onto the ground. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 556, SSS. Witnessing the scene of Yi Qinfeng throwing a level 5 Beast King corpse demon to the ground with the means of a mortal, a series of gasps rang out from the stands. Many people rubbed their eyes hard, not daring to believe what they were seeing. Strong, senior brother Su is too strong. Even the Shirsi Luo Mo is not his match. Looking at the Shirsi Luo Mo that was thrown to the ground, Hong Lin and the others were so shocked that their eyes widened. Their faces were filled with pride. If Hong Lin did not see that Shui Yuro was interested in Yi Qinfeng and did not dare to act rashly, she would have already thrown herself into Yi Qinfeng's arms. Sect Lord, senior brother won't lose, right? The 3 corpse sect's disciples looked at the gloomy Taoist 3rd corpse and asked nervously, "What's the hurry?" Luo Mo still has trump cards that he has not used. I believe that he will be the one laughing in the end. He will definitely be able to kill that little bastard and show the might of our 3 corpse sect. Taoist 3rd corpse looked at Yi Qinfeng with gloomy eyes and said coldly, after throwing the Shirsi Luo Mo to the ground. Yi Qinfeng did not wait for him to get up. He threw out 3 punches at him, causing the air to explode. The punches were aimed at the Shirsi Luo Mo's body, wanting to severely injure him. Gold-armored heavenly corpse. Sensing that Yi Qinfeng's 3 punches were filled with destructive power, the Shirsi Luo Mo ignored his injuries and summoned his 2nd heavenly corpse to block Yi Qinfeng's 3 punches with all his might. Boom! 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 A large amount of explosive power came from the surface of the gold-armored heavenly corpse's body. The powerful punches forced the Shirsi Luo Mo to retreat. Cracks started to spread on the surface of his body. Corpse King slaughtering the world. Making use of the moment when the gold-armored heavenly corpse was blocking, the Shirsi Luo Mo quickly jumped up from the ground and executed the only low-grade Dao skill that he knew. He attacked Yi Qinfeng. 9 dark Dao patterns gushed out from the Shirsi Luo Mo's body and turned into a dark, gray Corpse King with explosive muscles. The Corpse King was wrapped in arm-thick chains. It carried an astonishing killing aura as it attacked Yi Qinfeng. Xianming Extreme Dao. The Corpse King's murderous aura surged towards him. Yi Qinfeng didn't hold back anymore. 30 illusionary Dao patterns and 1 fire Dao pattern spurted out from his body, turning into reality and illusion. The void light was filled with destructive power. It was like a world-shaking mad dragon that blasted towards the Corpse King. Boom, 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 boom. The moment the 2 Dao skills collided, a thunderous explosion rang out. 2 terrifying waves of energy surged out in all directions like a tidal wave. It was like a hurricane sweeping away the clouds and a great wave washing away the sand. The fluctuation caused a slight distortion in the air. The Xianming Extreme Dao was a mid-grade Dao technique. Its power was far superior to the Corpse King Massacre the World that the Corpse Luo Demon had used. In just 2 breaths of time, the profound underworld Extreme Dao had destroyed the Corpse King formed from the dark Dao insight, and its remaining power continued to bombard Shirluo Mo, whose expression had changed drastically. Gold-armored heavenly corpse, defend! At the critical moment, Shirluo Mo ordered the golden-armored heavenly corpse to block in front of him, blocking the remaining power of the Xianming Extreme Dao. Shirluo Mo dodged the attack, but the golden-armored heavenly corpse's golden armor was destroyed by the remaining power of the Xianming Extreme Dao. It was thrown a few hundred meters away and directly fell out of the arena. What a powerful force! If I'm not wrong, that move should be a middle-grade Dao skill. The 4th elder of the Yu family, Yu Hong, who was wearing a fiery red martial arts suit, raised her brows. Her calm face revealed a trace of surprise. She was surprised that a mere 6th grade sect actually had a middle grade Dao skill inheritance. This seems to be the middle grade Xianming Extreme Dao that shocked the Western continent 60,000 years ago. The oldest person, Demon Dao, who was once the strongest person in the Western continent, vaguely recognized the truth of this move and spoke in shock. Xianming Extreme Dao. Hearing Demon Dao's words, Mo Fengyun's expression changed slightly. He was surprised that the Xianming Extreme Dao that was rumored to be the #1 killer move in the Western continent 60,000 years ago had reappeared. I didn't expect the Xianming sect to give birth to such a prodigy. Lu Qing didn't lose to him unjustly, Mo Fengyun said slowly. He had developed a strong interest in the Xianming Extreme Dao and was prepared to obtain the cultivation chant to increase his trump card. Middle-grade Dao skill. That little bastard actually grasped a middle-grade Dao skill. Daoist Sanshur, who was very close to the main spectator stand, heard the words of Mo Fengyun and the others. The uneasiness in his heart grew stronger. He finally knew why Yi Qinfeng agreed to fight Shi Luo Mo to the end without hesitation. With a middle-grade Dao skill, he indeed had the possibility of killing Shi Luo Mo. If you have any other moves, use them now. Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't have the chance to use them. Yi Qinfeng looked at Shi Luo Mo, whose aura was a little chaotic and had a gloomy expression, and said arrogantly, "Don't be happy too early. The final victory will belong to me." Shi Luo Mo took a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood in his body. He continued to attack Yi Qinfeng. The mystic tortoise corpse had also successfully eliminated the corrosion of the life Dao pattern and returned to normal. It attacked Yi Qinfeng together with Shi Luo Mo, illusion, Dao intent, confusion. Shi Luo Mo and the mystic tortoise corpse attacked. Yi Qinfeng's deep eyes shot out 30 illusion Dao patterns and penetrated Shi Luo Mo's eyes. He wanted to erode Shi Luo Mo's brain and consciousness and confuse his mind. Dark Dao pattern defense. As the illusion Dao patterns attacked, Shi Luo Mo's dark Dao patterns surged out and formed a vortex to resist the erosion of the illusion Dao patterns. At this moment, the roaring mystic tortoise corpse approached Yi Qinfeng. It opened its bloody mouth and spat out a dense death aura, which bombarded Yi Qinfeng's body. 5 million kilograms of force, break for me! Yi Qinfeng roared. The power of the 4 spiritual pearls surged into his right arm and stirred up flames of power. He attacked with an insufferably arrogant attitude. Boom! The death aura spat out by the mystic tortoise corpse was blasted apart by Yi Qinfeng's unstoppable punch. The fist light dragged along with the power of fire and ruthlessly bombarded the weakest part of the mystic tortoise corpse's neck. It immediately sent its massive body flying and crashed heavily on the ground. Terrifying. This Su Mingwei strength is too terrifying. That's right. I didn't expect 2 dark horses to emerge in this Dragon Abyss Sacred City martial meet. With Su Mingwei and He Shi Tuji's performance, they might have a chance to enter the top 8. After witnessing the scene of Yi Qinfeng sending the mystic tortoise corpse flying with a single punch, many people were stunned by his strength that was comparable to a savage beast. There were even people who compared him with He Shi Tuji and were discussing who was stronger. Shifting phantom. There was a flash of light under Yi Qinfeng's feet. He drew an afterimage and appeared in front of Shi Luo Mo with lightning speed. He blasted out an earth-shattering fist light and bombarded Shi Luo Mo's body. Demonic blood, heavenly corpse. Just as Shi Luo Mo's dodging space was sealed by Yi Qinfeng's fist lights, Shi Luo Mo used his final trump card. He summoned a 9-chi tall heavenly corpse. It had dark red skin, dark green eyes that were slowly rotating like whirlpools, and both of its hands were embedded with steel claws. It was emitting a chilling death aura. Demonic blood, heavenly corpse. This is Taoist 3 corpses, demonic blood, heavenly corpse. Looking at the last sky corpse that Shi Luo Mo had summoned, Shui Honghen immediately recognized this sky corpse. It wasn't a heavenly corpse refined by Shi Luo Mo. It was the strongest heavenly corpse refined by Taoist 3 corpse. It possessed the strength of a half-step combat beast emperor. It wasn't only Shui Honghen who recognized the demonic blood heavenly corpse. Many people present also recognized it. They didn't expect Taoist 3 corpse to be so despicable. In order to let Sir Luo Mo obtain a good result, he actually lent him a demonic blood heavenly corpse. It could be said that Yi Qinfeng wasn't facing Sir Luo Mo now, but Taoist 3 corpse. And this change directly turned the situation around. It also changed everyone's guess of the outcome. Yi Qinfeng, who didn't dare to use his trump card easily and exposed his identity, was in big trouble. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.